Hi. Howdy. How's it going? Yep, smash that like button.
You're not the most exciting host.
You're the one who puts me on.
Well, who else am I supposed to put on? It's just you and me here. What's going on, Jody? What's going on, Ian?
Hey, everybody.
It's been a heck of a week. How about you guys?
It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Oh. And demonetized.
Yes. I mean, I'm not. I am monetized on Twitch. I'm not monetized on YouTube. So at that point, no one gives a crap.
Yeah. Twitch is doing pretty good for me and you. But I mean, it's just about consistency. I also started a second channel that is not related, and I can't monetize it.
Right.
But if you're interested, it's movie Magic Mitch. Is the title, and basically I watch movies.
I have a chatty cat. What's up, dude?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Dwight.
That's because you never invite him anymore.
Well, you know.
That's okay. It's his stream. He can cry if he wants to.
I won't cry. I just need my suppliers, to respond to my inquiries so that I can order stuff for the event. And there's a kitten right there. I'm going to steal him.
4 months. I haven't even started.
Oh, here's a fluff.
I haven't even started my project for the Rep Festival. So
yeah,
you're good. You're fine.
Chris, nice.
By the way, anybody who's on here, Fusion 360 is doing a sale for like $385 a month or a year, and that's going to be the lowest it's probably going to ever be.
There was the maker one, or for startups, $150 for 3 years. That's a pretty good deal. It's a fully licensed thing. I'm like, if I had $150, I would do it. I don't have $150.
What's $150?
Fusion 360 for startups, and there's a Domina hotel.
Yeah. Do you have to be a LLC to be a startup for it?
Yes.
Oh, man, maybe I should sign up as an LLC.
Right, you should. It was only $1 in Colorado, so I signed up, and then our event signed up, and
that's cool. I have a few people that might be riding with me. I don't know what's going to go on yet, but I've been talking to a few people, but I forget who they are.
Right.
So,
well, at least if you can
I'm
save a few bucks here. Yeah, I had a feeling you'd be driving. You'll be bringing half your.
I need a couch to sleep on for like 4 days.
Right.
Like that. Because I'm probably gonna just drive the weekend before. So if I could stay with somebody until I get to the hotel.
I will see. How are you allergic to cats?
No, I love cats.
I am too, but I might have an option for you. It may not be here, but I might have an option for you.
You have a balcony, right?
Yeah, but no. We do.
I'll pop a tent.
Mattress, so
hey, it's Retro Maker TV.
No,
he hasn't been on the stream yet, has he?
I know. Let me. Where do I have him? I think I have him.
Hey, Dom. Sorry, we're ignoring you.
Yeah, sorry, Dom.
Why are you in the hotel?
Because I'm in Vegas.
Oh yeah, for
CES. Oh, you
how's CES?
Yes, I'm the cool guy that comes to Vegas and sits and chats online instead of going out and doing anything.
Is there anything exciting happening tonight?
It's Vegas.
The guy that wears odds through the lobby and everything, so I don't have to talk to anybody either.
You broke up really bad. And he's toast.
It's Vegas. You cut out.
It's Vegas. Your internet sucks.
It's probably that giant glowing orb in the middle of it that's sucking all the juice.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think I can. I can't see it from here.
Can you see it from your hotel, or is it like the $1 million rooms, like $1,000 a night?
Oh yeah, Joel. That's why I haven't heard back.
A giant advertisement wall.
I have a message with David, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and so.
Oh, you didn't see Joel there for CS?
Nice. Yeah, Rocky Mountain's gonna be huge.
Oh, what did he say?
Double the space. I'm assuming Joel's there, but that could explain why I'm not here.
Hey, if you're out in public, that's the best time to live stream because your internet sucks and you have a lot of noise around you.
Right.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the downstairs one that's basically underground. So and then they want to charge.
It's all the startups.
They want to charge like $70 a day to jump on convention Wi-Fi.
Right.
Like $70.
Yeah.
To jump on convention Wi-Fi.
That's insane.
Can't hear me?
Well, yeah, we can hear you. Sorry, I was responding to stuff.
I posted about the bamboo thing a couple places. Nobody's really surprised, so I mean, I don't care. But they just released that how they're going to handle third-party
whole
stuff.
Third-party thing where you can download a specific firmware, and then you can put any other firmware that's available on it, and then you lose all support and all warranty. Which, surprise, it's anything you modify anyway. You know.
I mean, the only people that want to do this know how to fix their machines.
I would do it. I'm still stuck on the closed source a bit on that, but it definitely pushes me one iota closer to eventually being.
I mean, if I can air gap it with this, if I can, if the third party firmware lets me make sure that it's not communicating out, then I think a P1S would be a good buy.
Right.
P1P, but no.
See, and then I don't know. I think when I go Core XY, I'm probably going to end up going Voron.
You should do a Voron. Everybody should do a Voron.
Everybody.
So Grant working on the. I just saw that video.
Oh my god! Did you see that clip on the Discord?
That's what I just saw. So Grant's building a Voron Trident,
and the thing fell.
The thing fell on his face.
I mean, it's his first Voron. He'll hate it. He's not as much of a tinkerer as he claims to be. I love Grant, but he's going to hate it in the long run. What he'll do is he'll print with it.
He can figure
he'll have an issue and he'll give up because it's a little more complex.
It's not as bad as
and Zura's here.
Look, at least they're fixable.
Oh, those two are coming to Rocky Mountain, and they're volunteers, and they're awesome people.
I don't think you could be on the stream without going to Rocky Mountain now.
Pretty much. This is
you'll disown us if you don't go to your event.
Here, hold on. Let's add that.
Yeah, the X1 Carbon. I mean, we have 2 of them at the Makerspace, and they would be my preferred machines. But I don't see the extra money for that over a P1S.
Right.
But I mean, it would be nice to have one good dedicated machine. But I don't know. I'd have to get rid of a lot of stuff to even justify having one. And then
maybe you'll win one at Rocky Mountain. You never know.
I just feel like I would lose a lot of my thing if I got rid of my Delta printers. So
I
don't know.
You wouldn't be Mitch anymore.
I have a giant Delta printer that prints everything I want to print, and then anything it can't print, I just go to the Makerspace and use theirs. And I don't have to pay for it, other than the membership. And then I have a V0 kit sitting here from LDO that I haven't built together. And
you should build that at Rocky Mountain.
I should. I did not learn my lesson from Mandic really.
And they will be sitting here. And I will print them in whatever I feel like.
Alan Mandic, after helping him, trying to help him, nobody should ever build a printer at an event. Like, that's the worst idea.
Yes.
You shouldn't even try to build a printer in a weekend because you're gonna try to rush and screw stuff up.
Yes, but it's worth a shot.
That's a nice mug. Did you get that for free?
Yes.
CES swag.
So what's the coolest thing you've seen at CES so far?
Me? No, kidding.
Did you see Peter? Did you hang out with Peter?
I did not see Peter. I ran into Jason a couple of times.
Good. Well, he lives out there.
I hear Linus was wandering around today.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should, if you find Linus, the thing that was Rocky Mountain.
Probably the thing that was stop and got my attention totally was LG's display. They had a, I don't know, probably 15-foot tall by however wide it is, display of their clear televisions.
Yeah, it's transparent school.
And it was just crazy. And they were all in columns, and they all like slid it out at different times and would all line up. And it was just, you stop and you catch yourself watching the entire show until it repeats again.
Nice. And I assume you saw the Samsung like transparent displays that are all new and I've seen on interwebs. Have you seen that yet? Those are cool. I like that. That's a new jump in tech. And of course,
we'll see how transparent.
Sent you a link. I mean, you could use them on front of printers and show the print. How's Bearded Bucket? This guy down here.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hey.
Oh, that's who you are. I don't think I've ever seen you.
Yeah, he's a TikTok guy, but I'm dragging him into
no, I think I followed you recently because I remember. Didn't you change your name recently, or you're trying to change your LLC? Or
no,
testing.
Oh, that was another bearded.
There you are.
That's Nero going to Connect.
Oh, he did the Connect. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. I am not
Creator.
Canadian.
Oh, Chris is also bearded something.
There we go. That works.
Yeah. I'm the bearded hot tub guy.
We got the three. Yeah. We got everyone except Zara again.
Is that why it's black? Because you don't want to show us.
I got the stubble.
You got the peach fuzz, and then we got the black.
It's more than peach fuzz. There's stubble.
Right.
Oh man, you need to show up earlier.
Right.
Zach.
Yeah.
You need to stop working.
Yes. Oh, there's a.
Oh, whoa, this is rare.
Cam. He's on last week.
Yeah.
Except it's computer cam. It's keyboard, mouse, and computer cam.
I mean, it is a nice computer.
I mean, mine, yeah. Custom builds are great.
You have the right color too. Purple.
Purple. I'm running red. Got to run that red.
Turn the gimbal on.
Is it charged?
Yeah, it's charged.
It's all about the Voron desk mat. That's
yes. I've got mine down here too.
I love that. That's one of the best things I ever bought.
I need to get a gimbal. What gimbal are you running, Chris?
DJI 3 whatever Pro.
Oh, that's smooth. That's nice. It's really sharp too.
Well, Zach, if I got off work,
it's got like $3,000 worth of camera on it.
Oh, that's
only $90 for that Osmo gimbal.
It's the sensor size. It's all about the sensor size. This is why these Logitech cameras suck. It's because you have a
full frame camera.
Yeah, that's why.
Oh, okay. That's why.
Oh yeah.
No, turn that focus on. Hold on. There we go.
Hold on.
What kind of lens is that?
It's a Tamron 28-65.
That's pretty long.
Oh, sorry, Zach. Here, I'll put myself up here, and now everyone can see him, and I'm blocked.
I don't understand what f-stops and all that stuff are, but I imagine
it's the amount of light.
It's a fraction of light.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's the number of times you say fuck after hurting yourself trying to figure it out before you stop trying to use it.
That's pretty good.
No, what you do is the more F's, the more zeros are after the $sign. Yeah.
Nice. That's
pretty much all I put in camera equipment is how many zeros do you want to put behind it.
Right. All of them.
What's a megapixel?
I bought a DSLR and I was trying to learn how to use it better, and I haven't really had the time. I bought a Nikon, and I was talking to my brother-in-law who's super into it. You know, he's not a professional photographer, but he does a lot of stuff. Right. Like if they go on like a family vacation, he's always got his DSLR and he's out taking pictures and does some amazing stuff. So I'm trying to talk with him, a couple of different things like Thanksgiving and whatnot, and he's giving me a couple hints here and there to go Google things like, I think he said it was Sunny 16 or something like that. But it's like he's a Canon guy and I've got a Nikon, and things are just slightly different enough, and it drives me a little batty as well because the grid pattern, if you turn it on for the Nikon, instead of being a traditional 3x3, it's 4x4.
Nice.
So. Damn you, Nikon, and your weird math.
Right.
Hey, Dan. Missed that. How do you try that again?
Hello, people saying hi.
Wait a minute.
And then if Steve gets in here,
Oh,
we're gonna just talk about HuForge.
Someone left. Zero popped out.
Oh no. Again.
He was like F 1.9 this.
Yeah. Yeah, F 1.9. Is F0 like infinite or zero light or infinite light?
It means you're actually gathering more light than, because F1 is an equal amount of light that hits the sensor is like fully encasing. So you're not getting any loss of light from lens to sensor. And there are 0.8 lenses that will gather more light.
They're probably like massive.
No, it's just like the way that they use the lens elements are very expensive, and there's special glass that does gather more light.
Oh my god. Camera nerds are the worst.
No.
Hey man, when you make 6 figures doing this, you got to know everything about it because
that's
the competition.
You're right.
Is
if you're actually doing it professionally, it's great. But if you're a hobbyist, I guess it's as annoying as Warren.
Hobbyists are more nerdy than the professionals. Like when I hang out with professionals, most of the photographers I actually meet in real life know nothing about their camera gear.
Right.
They're just very good artists. Like my friend Luis, who I trained, he doesn't know the technical aspects of photography, but he knows what he wants to capture and he knows how to get it. And actually, what's funny is he taught me a lot because when I first got into photography, I was the technical guy. I was the guy that knew the settings and way the light should be shaped to get a more attractive looking photo. But he was able to talk to the people and get expressions and emotions out of them, which actually made the photos better. So his technical prowess as a photographer, it's like even today, I would tell him to his face, like, technically you're not a great photographer, but your photos are amazing because the couples you photograph look like they're so happy, which is what's important. Like on your wedding day, do you want to look like a bunch of like sad, mad people? No, you want to be happy. It's a happy day. So
hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Only on Wednesdays.
I would never want to be married on a Wednesday. That'd be weird.
I'm married on a Wednesday.
Yeah, but
well, you're weird.
So Zura, yeah, that's it.
I have a bunch of old glass. There's so much camera gear in this space.
So how about the other way around, where you take an SLR reflex mirror, like old film reflex mirror, and then put a sensor.
They sell those.
Look, it's Sergio.
It is Sergio.
Because camera bodies now are mostly like circuitry.
It is almost all circuitry in there, and
it's all
fans
processing.
now.
So if you took a film camera, you really only have the canister and the reel size.
And they sell, like, if you go on Kickstarter, you'll find people that sell like little digital canisters that just fit.
And has a sensor. Face crack.
That would be cool.
But they're very expensive and not very high quality. But you really don't need the quality because the glass from back then isn't as good as the glass today in terms of like
crop frame, he said.
What is that? Its ability to gather detail, because they were very soft. They had a lot of chromatic aberration, and that's what made it unique. Like old glass just looks cool when you take photos of it. Like people buy like Helios lenses, which have deformations, which makes like things look kind of weird and distorted, but in a pleasant way.
Right.
I like the idea and theory of like the Pi HQ cameras.
I just got a Pi cam.
Yeah.
Because I think the HQ camera for me for streaming would be perfect. And then I can have the Pi do all the I can make it the Pi wireless and I don't have to deal with crappy IP cameras. Like, I don't know. I did it for a while and then I had to use my Pi for the Voron, my Pi 4. And then but I had it as like an overhead camera and it would just always be streaming. And so all I had to do in OBS would just connect to that IP address on the local network. And it had a really low latency 1080p, 30 frames per second video stream that was just always available.
So what he couldn't hear because he didn't have speakers hooked up was all the people who hacked in and were like, "I'm watching you."
That ain't creepy.
I don't care if people attack my cameras. They're gonna just see what they would pay for OnlyFans.
Yes. Only Mitch's.
I was actually thinking
Only
about
benches.
setting up a couple of
Okay, and then
cameras just like that at Remurf.
Yeah. Yeah, always streaming cameras I think are a good idea. I mean, I like in my basement, like nobody's going in my basement. You're not going to see anything in my basement, so I can have cameras always set up in my basement. And then when I want to share a project that I'm working on, I can just turn on the cameras in OBS and they're already ready to go because they're all spread out. Like I set up 2 more tables tonight. I got a desk for free at work. And so now I actually have table space in that basement. You see how big my basement is? There's like it's all empty space, and so now
besides the dead bodies in the corner,
that's all stuff from my apartment. Yeah, I need to take them out.
You brought dead bodies over from your apartment. You should have just left them at the apartment.
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
but he wanted.
I actually had to pay
the deposit back.
Oh no, I lost my deposit and I've had to pay $300.
Printer Prawn, was that Ukrainian lens? Was that a oh man, it's not the practical lens, a Petzval lens. Petzval, I believe that's what they're called. I think those are the Ukrainian lenses.
Is there like a laser time of flight sensor? Does that make sense? That's called LiDAR. Never mind. I forget.
It's called.
It would be cool to have a handheld camera that was just a LiDAR, like a really high resolution LiDAR, so you could photograph depth. I mean, I guess that's what our iPhones have, but this is not high resolution. I'm just saying.
I don't think they. I mean, they have not commercial, but they have industrial depth sensor cameras. But commercially, that would be. That's cool. The problem. Is that's something that like I've never heard anyone go, man, I really wish I can record depth in some kind of commercial setting.
You can. I mean, what's cool? I've seen LiDAR on drones, and they take an entire sampling of a like
key. Everyone, key. Everyone type a key. No,
I don't have a keyboard.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, I could key out my background if you want.
You just massage your screen to do what you want.
Yeah. Do I have that? Do I have that ability here? Can I make my background touch up my appearance?
You might be able to.
There you go.
Oh, did my skin get softer? Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah.
I'm dancing.
I mean, my keys are in the other room. If you want me to show you my keys, then I'm really gonna dox myself.
We've got a good, nice little guest.
I have a camera keychain
from UForge.
I was gonna say, if Steve shows up, we're gonna just talk about
it's a UForge background,
and not talk about anything else.
We don't have to talk about UForge.
What's UForge?
It's a crappy thing. Don't worry about it.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
How are you?
It's MS Paint for 3D printers.
I mean,
I've been seeing more and more of it. I was on Reddit today, and I saw a bunch of people like, "Look at my UForge."
I actually, never mind. I'm not going to talk about it.
You should
talk about it all night.
What, Reddit? Yeah, Reddit's a bad place.
Yeah.
You shouldn't go there.
I actually haven't been on. I downloaded the app again after I boycotted it because of whatever we were boycotting it for, and I still never use it. Oh, that's right, because the stupid API thing that they did.
Yeah.
Where they tried to make $1 trillion off of small creators and then destroyed it.
Yeah, I barely use it. It's just one too many social platforms. Someone said, "Hey, can we start a UForge, group there?" I said, "Sure."
You become the moderator and don't tell me anything that happens.
Yeah, and I visit it like once a month, and I'm like, "Oh crap, there's questions I can answer." Okay, but there's just too many. There's too many platforms to visit.
But they're all there.
Discord is good and bad because it's privatized kind of.
It's my bearded other person.
Now we're up to 9.
I was gonna say I feel very, very beard.
Now we're the
Who doesn't have a beard?
Don't feel bad. Zura is below me.
Zura's the only one.
Am I Marsha or Dan Brady?
Here, hold on.
Time for some beard shaming.
Here. Whoa, that was loud.
Wait, you should rank it by beard.
Yeah, beard length. I think
I'm in the middle somewhere.
Put the beards up, the big beards up front, and there we go. There we go.
I think Dom's got me beat.
Dom's a better beard than
organized my beards.
Hold on, there we go.
Dom has the hair, so he should be first.
Yes, and I'll put.
I mean,
this is true. Dom has pretty good hair.
I mean, mine's so light. It's so it's just.
But beard length, please.
But I'm more neck beard than beard, so
I'm kind of thinking I may keep my hair long enough to do like evil Jesus. for Halloween.
How about like
Okay.
how about
I'll
you
just
do,
call
like,
it
Chris Riley hair going on.
You could do the thing from Hunger Games. What's that guy that has like the twirly sideburns?
This is fine.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a Jerry Springer show.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've got, Hollywood Squares. We just all need good
Share
backgrounds.
from one screen
And he's gone again.
Yeah,
Got
right,
the best,
Go ahead,
best
like,
internet.
pick a square and ask a question, and then we'll see if we answer it, and then you can get an X or an O.
Yeah, there we go. I got it. First move.
Oh, the free space. Steve's the free space because he's HughForge.
Oh yeah.
There
Right?
we go. Wait, why is that free? Okay, I'll take it. That's fine. But I'm in the middle, so
The only winning move is not to play. That's kind of how.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Didn't you learn nothing from war games?
Yeah.
Tic-tac-toe.
Which one?
I love war games.
The movie, the Matthew Broderick
Movie,
movie.
yeah.
I like
Yeah,
LHD,
yeah.
So yeah, I like war games.
It needs to learn. Let it go.
Right.
I still think my favorite Star Wars theme is when Luke Skywalker goes like, "You my father," and he goes like, no.
Prove it. Right? He said, "Prove it."
Yes.
Yeah. I want DNA test.
Can I get a space DNA test, please? That'd be great.
Right.
Why are there a bunch of dead people behind me?
I have a lingering cough, but I finally feel
That
better.
was a comic, but I was trying to find this one.
I finally
Really
feel better, which is really nice.
I'm feeling crappy.
This is,
I'm coming down with a cold and I have backache. That's the worst thing to have.
Do you want me to give you a
I'd rather
massage,
have
Matt?
the cold.
that sounds
I
like
had-
being old.
I threw my back out coughing during this, so that was awful.
Oh man,
You know, it's the
That
worst
was-
is hernias.
I had a wedding I had to shoot in the city, so I live near Chicago. I had a wedding in Chicago, and I didn't have a cold, but I was in the shower and I needed to sneeze really bad. So I stuck my head out of the shower and grabbed a towel, and I was bent over, and I sneezed violently, threw out my back.
Oh,
And I had to shoot a
no.
wedding that was 10 hours long and almost 2-hour drive away with a thrown out back.
Wow, that's awful.
But the groom was a super big wrestling nerd, and he had WWE championship belt,
So
and he
put
wanted
that
to
up.
raise it up when he got married, like at the altar. But his wife wouldn't let him bring it down, so I wore it underneath my my outfit,
Like a weight belt.
outfit. Yeah, like a weight belt, and it was so. I was like, I cannot give this back to him, but I had to. And then there's a photo I have of him just holding up his championship belt while he's kissing his wife for the first time. The things I do to make people happy. Never again, because that was a really scary hotel.
Right.
One of those hotels that has just an atrium that goes up all 13 stories, so the elevators are all
Matt
glass.
from Jake from State Farm, and we are full. Holy crap!
Hey, I heard
Holy
there was
cow.
a meeting of the beards.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Oh,
Let's
sort him.
review into-
Sort him
Nerve's got to move
appropriately.
down a notch
Where do I
again.
need to move him? Where does he go?
He goes below Dom and above
think-
Steve. No, he goes above Matt.
No, I think
And
he
Mitch.
goes above Dom.
Doesn't the salt and pepper get a little points?
Right.
We all
hold
got
on.
the salt and pepper, man. Well,
Yeah, I
no,
got a
most
little
of us
bit.
don't.
Oh, there can only be one Matt in this.
I'm not cool enough.
You can call me Jake.
Jake from Matt from State Farm.
There you go.
Your stuff will
Oh,
ship
you're
out
Jake
tomorrow.
from State Farm. Okay, I think I remember meeting you. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know faces.
I have some news.
Everyone
You're
has.
getting married.
Yeah.
No,
No,
really?
I actually
Really?
got married 2 years ago,
Oh,
and it was also live streamed on YouTube.
Oh, that's
Someone
awesome.
look that up.
So you can look that up if you
I
want
never
to.
watch anyone's wedding
Eh,
ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mama,
you've
get
been
outta
to too
here.
many.
All right, so what's your
No,
news?
Luban is generating CMYK software now.
Oh,
Hmm.
Oh,
Isn't
They're
that
gonna compete with
competing?
me?
So,
they're gonna compete with me.
no, they're not. It's totally different. What are you doing?
Is it?
CMYK?
Oh, you're doing like
List of
just
things?
CMYK. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah,
CMYK. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know
Not what you're doing. We have
No.
a similar program called Painting, but your program is definitely better than what we have. So I have to agree on that. But CMYK, you don't do that, the lithophane. So
no, I don't do the CMYK lithophane. I mean, it's CMYK blending, but I don't do the lithophane, CMYK lithophane specifically. No. I have 2 more days at work.
Ooh, you got to be
you're still working? I thought you
Yep.
quit.
I mean, I put my notice in, but January 12th was my last day. I put my notice in December, but I said, look, I'm first of all, new insurance year, and I wanted to be able to cover the insurance.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, and I was like, look, I don't want to quit. I don't want to quit right at the end of the year and leave you in a lurch. And I said, basically, I want to be out by the second half of January. And they came back and said, how's the 12th sound? And I said, that sounds perfect. So,
nice.
And actually, it's kind of great because I'm finally coming out of my flu funk, and I'm like, oh, just in time to not be working for my old company anymore. But they've been really, really good about it. They're very supportive, and I did a lunchtime seminar on HughForge, and people were real excited about it and really, really. So it's been great. They've been super awesome, and they basically said, look, if it doesn't work out, come talk to us. Can't guarantee you a job, but as long as we have an opening, we'll bring you back. So.
Hey, every business needs a water boy to start out with. So you can start at the bottom as the water boy, get everyone their coffee and their donuts. Yeah.
Just start that way again. That's how it's going to play. Okay. Fair enough.
Or you can start as a janitor.
They make more money than the software engineers. That's the weird part.
No, not.
I'd rather be the janitor in a big company.
Not at my company, but
man.
Yeah, you need to relearn all the stuff that the Gen Z is gonna have you do, right? It's project managers.
Yeah. They've been really good to me, and it was a fun lunchtime seminar. I just had HughForge prints everywhere on the table, and at the end, I was like, if you have a favorite, go ahead and take it, because they've been in my office. Like I've been showing them.
Oh, ask Matt about the printer.
Oh yeah, 500.
Yeah.
Yeah,
is that a rat rig?
No. I'm getting Comgrow. I wanted.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the T500. T500. Yeah.
Did you win that for the Joel Telling? The Joel Telling giveaway? Is that what that was?
No, Joel Telling. I want something else.
I won nothing, so I'm not bitter.
Q&A video. There you go. Oh, someone.
I want Joe Telling. I won the 7,000 pound printer.
7,000 pound printer? Oh, in terms of value?
Just kidding.
Wait, people use
7,000 kilograms.
Yeah, kilogram printer.
7,000 of nothing.
So 7,000 kilogram. No, 7,000 pounds. 2.5 pounds per kilogram. I can't math, but that's the math numbers for you.
It's a very heavy printer.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited about the Comgrow one, because then I can see if I can start doing my R2D2. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build the skeleton first, and buy the motors and all the equipment later, because that's the most money what I would have to spend on. Mm-hmm. And I'd rather have the outside ready and showable. And also, I want to make R2D2 on the outside lithophanes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That'd be cool.
So, a lot of work, but very cool.
Yeah, and I
found the secret to make Matt happy. Combine a lithophane into anything.
Right.
Yeah.
You know the magic.
No.
He's getting horny.
Oh, tell me more.
I'll pull that fire out. I got some water.
Anyway.
Thank you. Anyway.
Light-wise, I'm gonna thought about to put in a light strip. Not a light strip. What's it called? Those light tubes.
Oh, like the EL tubes?
Yeah, they hang mostly. You use them in kitchen mostly because they're very bright and they show daylight.
Halogen? Not halogen.
Not halogen, no. Fluorescent tubes.
Yeah, fluorescent.
Yeah. And have it basically running in the middle from the droid, from the bottom to the top. And then have all the middle part all around the droids. The the lithophane displayed, and I thought about once I have it mechanically sound and working, that I can take maybe some company's business and put it on there in like my local town and then drive it around.
Okay.
You know, like as a commercial droid. I thought.
A commercial droid.
Yeah.
Well, which is very accurate to the Star Wars universe, right? They're all basically commercial droids.
So.
Who makes
That's
the
one of my
droids?
ideas.
Actually, now that I think about it, I know Anakin made our C-3PO, but he made it from scrap parts. But like the Republic did, because
yes,
I bet a lot of the
C-3PO
technology was dismantled.
I disagree. I think like Astromech, I think is a brand name, and that he's just called an Astromech because he's got the same like look. Like I feel like Astromech is a brand, like Kleenex, and like there's a lot of that out there where it's like these were all made by some company, and then they just anyone else who made one that's similar function and similar appearance got called an Astromech. But I bet you Astromech is a company name.
I mean,
Technodyne Industries,
the Star Wars universe, though.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Oh, Astromech is like a general name for the.
Right, but it's like Kleenex.
Then they also trademark droids, so like droids are like the slang term for
androids.
Like,
you see the new droids or new robots from or what's this company called again? The American company with the dog.
Boston Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw one of
Boston
those.
Dynamics,
One of those
yeah.
dogs today.
I mean, those gonna be. I think we're gonna see them soon if we ever go to war on the battlefield.
Oh yeah. They had some actually in
Ukraine.
No, I was gonna say not Battlefield, but they had some in what's it called? Boba Fett. They actually had some of them as droids walking around in one of the city scenes. I'm looking at the city scene. I'm like, those are real. Those are real. Those aren't fake. Those aren't CGI. My wife's like, what are you talking about? Like, those are real droids.
Are those the droids you're looking for?
They were the droids.
Not the droids you've been looking for.
No, they were.
What droids are we droiding?
I really like the ones that they came out recently, the 3 little ones that go around the park and they're like semi-autonomous. Like they have like realistic. I don't know. It's really cool. Like Disney Imagineering stuff just blows my mind that they can have that's what fun stuff you can do with unlimited money.
Right.
Yeah. It's amazing what you can do with unlimited money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything you want.
Yeah. I wish I can win the lottery.
Right? Every time it gets to $1 billion, I buy a few tickets because you never know.
Yeah, my wife spent like 70 quid a month. She just told me a couple of weeks ago.
On lottery?
I hate when my non-existent wife spends 70 quid.
Right.
I think I spend the money for my non-existent wife too.
I have to explain to my friends.
What are you saying? That I don't have a wife only because you didn't see her?
No, he's just saying he spends enough money for himself and a non-existent wife.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he wasn't throwing shade on you.
You wouldn't know her. She goes to another school.
She's from Canada.
Yeah, she's from Canada.
It takes money to keep up the beauty, you know.
Yeah.
It takes work.
Yeah, all that.
Gotta eat a lot of sardines. Get that good oily skin, you know.
Yeah. And don't forget to rub it underneath your armpits.
Right?
That's why I get my beard so nice. I just rub sardines in it.
Yeah, that attracts the females
I'm
very
Italian.
well.
That comes
and gnats. Lots of gnats. Keeps the mosquitoes away, though.
Yes.
Dang, Steve, your El Gato is like mad at you.
My what?
Your whatever software you're using for your El Gato camera, it keeps flickering. You'll be good, and then it goes El Gato can't connect, and then you'll be back, and then it'll be like El Gato, and I'm like,
secretly sponsored stream.
It changed my video format. What the heck?
In this moment, I thought Tom Lama was insulting me.
Where is Tommy Lama?
I've actually been having trouble with it all day.
There he is.
He's there. He's there. You just can't be.
I'm just trying to be like a younger Tom Lama with my woodworking stuff now, but I have a long way to go before I get to his expertise in wood shop. So I want to
just steal everything he does, and then you'll be better.
Yeah, well, that's what YouTubers do, but I guess I could start there.
You're not wrong. That is what YouTubers do.
Yeah, I just have to get thousands of dollars in resin,
Mhm.
you know, and then build giant gaudy tables and sell them to the rich people.
There you go, just like
a whole
Llama.
YouTube series for woodworkers.
Make
I
sure
really think that kind of stuff just kind of ruins woodworking videos.
I'm going to disappear behind my fake brick wall.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my God! Look, he's like Peter Griffin going into the. Oh no, he's not disappeared. He's still there.
He's just half.
Oh, it sort of sees me. I'm Homer Simpson going into the bushes.
The end of the bushes.
He's just
So,
another
Tom,
brick in the wall.
You started by taking on $1,000 resin pours.
You gotta do at least $1,000 resin pour.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's only $300 in resin.
Yeah. Every time you spill, you have a heart attack. Yeah. I would be so cautious about everything, but man, I'm nervous about just buying on Amazon like a little like liter bottle of 2-part resin because I think that's what I'm gonna have to start with just to kind of learn it. But I'm afraid I get the stuff that like sets really quickly, and then I'll be panicking, or they'll get air bubbles.
Just get your flamethrower out real quick and in layers. You know, a little layer.
Oh, starting YouTube one of these. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like taking a little bit of a spin on like. Well, I mean, some of the charcuterie boards I made are basically just Etsy, like the ones I found on Etsy. I just made them a little bit different.
Right.
You know, that's the whole fun in it, right?
Was it an intro of Justin dancing?
No, I need to
That's all I
get
wanna
someone
see.
to do a video intro, like a full-on thing.
I have a video intro.
Yeah,
should
I need
finish-
one.
Yeah. It's only
It'd be
unfortunate
nice better than
benefits
the
of learning how to do
crappy
videography
countdown.
is knowing the software now.
Right.
I can use After Effects.
You would.
I mean, I would.
Are you still
What do
using
you guys
that?
think of the new CMYK? The colors are getting better. We're getting it organized, the colors now.
Is that a print?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's print? Oh, very nice.
3D printed. Well, this one is a little bit too yellowish.
Mhm.
We have too much yellow in it.
Okay.
I tried to focus it. And this one is still a little bit too much yellow in it. But the colors are much more better.
Yeah.
That looks really cool.
So
I'm uploading a video for you, Justin.
Yep.
basically, the
Onto
yellow
here?
comes from because there is sunshine or sunstream shining through the left side to the right side down in the picture. What you talking about?
Okay. He sent him a video.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I was just
No,
showing.
let's
I was just saying, like, hey, I do this video for my friend who became a firefighter recently. She's a badass, by the way.
see. Yeah.
And the music is not copyrighted.
So this is not a DCMA Shakedown video.
Yeah,
It is great.
That's okay. It'd just be his YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. I own the rights to this music.
There. I turned it down. It's down.
You'd
Yeah,
have to be a
you're good.
badass to be a firefighter, though. I mean,
Is that better? That's as low
yeah.
as I can probably go.
Crazy loud.
Yeah, I know.
It's not
oh, wait,
anymore.
so this is your videography?
Yeah, this is what I typically do. So I work with a lot of veterans and military people, but she's one of
Awesome.
our athletes. That
Yeah, I saw you were
watch.
posting some photos to Instagram. Those are nice shots.
Where do you find abandoned buildings like this?
That's the benefit of the things I used to do before I got into real photography. Was I used to do a lot of urban exploration, and then I got to know the owners of a lot of these buildings out here because we have a lot of like the old part of town that looks like this.
Yeah.
And
So you just scouted and
yeah, find who owns it, talk to them, tell them what I do, show them some of the stuff I do, and then like this place, like they just go, hey, give us $50, you can get in anytime you want.
I
For as
saw
long as I want.
you see those freestyle drone guys. Those are really cool.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they
do
fly
have a
into
drone,
these
but-
buildings. Yeah.
because let's see here.
Oh, do you have your own drone, or do you have somebody that does your drone?
I have a
photography?
lot of drones, but yeah, normally somebody else would do it. I can't. The problem with drones is you have to practice.
Yeah.
And I don't like flying drones, so I don't take the time to continue practicing to get good at it. I just get to a certain point. Because like the non-for-profit I work for will be like, hey, can you do some drone footage? We just bought like 100 acres recently. And they're like, can you shoot us this video footage? The company that's doing the layout for the new property we're building on it, they need some flyover footage, and I'll shoot it and send it to them. Like, I can do that. But if they want me to like fly through a tree and like do all this like jib shots and really tight gimbal work, and no, I'm like, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, here we go. Let me send this video to you.
I
also did these. I did these TikTok videos.
Go hang out in the lobby. Don't lose all your money.
It's your turn. Llama, get in here.
Gambling in Vegas, you could take like 5 seconds, and then you're like, I'm done.
Trust me, I sat down when we went in 2018.
And it's gone.
I sat down. No, I didn't run out. I actually made money. Made enough to pay for the trip, so I was happy.
Nice.
And
I made more on the BattleBots vending machine than I did from being on BattleBots.
I was wasting money on blackjack. Guy sits down next to me, $2,500 per hand, just losing it every time. I'm like, dude, what? Just hand me the money. Like, I'll take it off your hands.
Don't say it, Chris. Don't say it. Okay, I didn't say it. I've learned so much in these last couple years.
Now, Llama.
Yeah, you just wait.
It to you.
The YouTube channel will be back. The rebranding has begun.
Live streaming or videos.
And I feel bad for everyone else.
There's your link in Twitter.
What's your brand going to be?
What's up?
What's your rebrand?
It's Angry War Coffee.
No, I really love original Mr. Wizard. I grew up watching Mr. Wizard, and I think that's what really got me into the like loving like science and technology like I do today. So and a lot of people always called me, especially when I did all the stuff with Prusa, people used to call me the 3D printing wizard. So I'm going to try to do like an homage to like the Mr. Wizard show, but with 3D printing. So like fun, educational.
That'd be
awesome. Teach people what's actually correct in 3D printing versus. Yeah. One of the things I'm really disappointed in 3D printing is just the sheer amount of review videos, and all it is like, look at this printer I used to print 10 things. It's awesome. And then they never use that printer again, and we don't see like a video 6 months like, hey, I've used this printer for 6 months. Here's the issues I've come up with. Here's the non-issues I've had. And it just kind of dies. Like, I'm still waiting for someone to go, here's the wiring on this Ender. It's dangerous. Don't buy this. Like,
yeah, and there has been ones like, I mean, Tom kind of started out doing that because he didn't really have any incentives not to.
Steve,
and
your
Maker's
camera's wigging out.
It's pretty about it, but I think that, I mean, Lost in Tech had a whole thread on Twitter about it this week, about reviews and if you should get paid or do affiliate or whatever. And
well, legally, if you get a product for free to do a review, you're supposed to disclose that in the first 60 seconds.
Yeah, but
you also have to mark it as sponsored because you are technically sponsored by the FTC. FTC says that is now a sponsored video, so you have to disclose that it's a sponsored video, and that's where a lot of people, like, I got in arguments with the 3D print general who never disclosed that he got anything for free, and then was like, give a review, and I'm like, but you got that for free, and you have your ads running and all this stuff, and you can't do that. And they're like, and then his channel got taken down. I'm like,
you guys know,
you can't.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. That was it. You can't do that. Like,
do you guys know 3D with us?
Who?
No. 3D with us.
Google Chrome freaked out because I wasn't signed in.
What's up, Tom?
Wait, why aren't you using Brave?
Yeah, you should be brave about it. Come on.
I did use Brave. Brave bugs out with StreamYard.
No, makes sense. It's not secure.
What's Brave? Just fine. Is that a browser?
It's a browser.
Yeah. Yes. It was supposed to be the most secure browser. and it's just not.
Right.
I use Firefox, but that also had
same.
issues.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
they all
has
have
issues with
issues.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
Google Chrome on
I use
the
Opera
Mac.
for StreamYard.
I did that too for a while, but it did. This one's doing it too. It flashes. You guys getting that light
Firefox.
flash I'm getting on here?
Almost flashing again.
But not for any good reason. I just don't like Chrome.
I don't like Chrome either.
Chrome is a freaking RAM
It's like
hog.
once you open up your 5th tab and your
Oh
computer
my
with
God.
64 gigs of RAM goes,
It-
you need to shut some tabs down. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I just won't use Chrome. Like,
I probably have 5 Firefox windows, 64 gigs of RAM, and it's using like half my RAM. Not even.
I have 256 gigs of RAM in this computer, and it just this one window is choking it.
yeah, optimization isn't a priority in a
thing.
lot of software, unfortunately. Like that's
Google
one of the things I
doesn't
hate
care.
about when Windows releases a new operating system. Like when it went from 10 to 11, 11 was so unoptimized. I was like, why did we launch this?
Right.
Well, why did they launch this? And
Because
eventually I was
money.
forced to switch to it. So thank you, Windows.
Here you go. That's hold on, let me get this.
Never heard
Oh,
of them.
3D with us. I thought you
Yeah.
said 3D with us, and I'm like, who the heck is 3D with us?
Sorry, that must be my accent.
No, I didn't hear it.
They
It's
just
9:30.
contacted me and they want me to write a paper for them about lithophanes.
Okay.
Article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paid?
I said it needs to be badly edited.
There.
You badly need to be edited, or you need to be edited poorly.
Yeah, I need to be edited what I'm writing because I mean, come on, you see my writing; it's terrible.
I think like all 3DP and like and 3D printing industry, like there's so many like SEO pushed, like they're basically like article mills for 3D printing, and
It's easier with
I don't know.
ChatGPT now.
Some of them just aren't good. Like, and I don't know. We just don't have really reliable. Like, if you Google anything 3D printing related, they're the ones that are gonna show up first. And like, how do you know that those articles are vetted? You know, like, or edited well? Like, maybe because it's with any media, but like,
that is.
It's a small
we have
niche,
that
though.
issue recently where
any bad
awards
problems
were given
we have
before printer even hit the market, and now there's articles that are written again. Same thing. There's nothing is, and that's happening in a lot of industries. I don't want to blame 3D printing, but it just seems like there's just a lot of like everyone's so quick to get information out. They're not vetting the information because they just want to be first. Because SEO only cares about getting the most views as quickly as possible, which boosts you to the front.
Right.
Even though it's not correct information or good information, I should say. Whether it's true or false doesn't matter. Just is it good or not? And,
right, because SEO can't tell
issue.
that. Right. SEO has no ability to tell is this good information or not. It's just information.
Because I had that issue when I first got into 3D printing. There was a local photographer who was always #1 on Google, but with those days it was like being in a pirate, like a whole bunch of little pirates on the ocean. Because his website was here's the photo, here's like the text, and then you scroll down like 10 pages, and there's just like garbage words at the bottom, which would boost your SEO back in the day.
Yeah,
because you just needed words, you just needed text that matches. You know, and the more text, the better, because that's what Google looked for. And now Google is extremely critical on what you put on your page to boost your SEO. And still the downfall is age. Like your website age matters more than almost anything. Like if you're a 12-year-old website that's been posting on a certain topic, that matters more than someone who's writing a better article. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Well, and of course, in 3D printing, the market size has grown a ton. You know, it's grown a ton, and people have shown themselves willing to put real money into the market. You know, because I put this in my presentation today I gave it at work. I was like, you know, the reason that HughForge was able to be successful is that the market got big enough. That there's enough people, and then not only that, but at the same time, you know, the Bamboo came out, and people were dropping $1,500 on a proprietary printer.
Right.
And so all of a sudden, because when I first decided I was going to sell it, I was Ooh, I'm getting a lot of background noise.
Yeah, there's somebody with a pod printer.
Hold on, let me see who. That's just remove
Jonathan, naughty boy.
He's only doing 1,800 things.
Shame on you for actually 3D printing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, just turned on my printer, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, when they I was like, are people just going to even be willing to pay for software about 3D printing because everything's free, everything's open source? Like the first people I'd asked her, do you have this on GitHub yet? Is it out there for me to use? And I was like, I'm gonna sell it. But I think the bamboos really helped because people were like, oh, I'll pay for something that's new, unique, and better. And so that like kind of worked for me. But I was really worried. I was like, is anyone going to be willing to pay for something when everything's free? When everything's supposed to be handed out, unless it's a piece of hardware you can't make.
Software was always in that gray area because I remember who was that color print company that was designing a software? It came out on like Kickstarter. People paid for that, and it was like the coloring software because Mosaic had their coloring software, and I haven't used it in
that actually was pretty good
since the Pro 2.
Okay,
not the newest one, but the 2, and it was. It has its issues. I actually preferred Prusa Slicer once they added coloring to it, but the company I can't remember the name of it. They just made a coloring software, and people were willing to pay for it. But it is a market that was defined for the longest time that you gave a lot of things away open source, or at least for free, if not open source. Besides, what's that slicer? Simplify 3D.
No. Right. Yeah, they were.
That was like the only thing anyone ever bought.
Right. And then and CAD software, because industrial CAD software.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
the CAD software besides OpenScan.
It was the best slicer up until like Prusa Slicer got good.
Yeah.
I mean, there was really no other option. I mean, Kira was okay, but
I mean,
that must be Llama.
I had a.
Yeah, you getting feedback because my printer's running right here.
Yeah,
I can hear you, Tom.
Yep, that was Llama.
Yeah, I had early on. I had a MakerBot clone, so I needed a slicer that could do like the X3G files.
Yeah.
And the MakerBot software was painfully slow to slice anything.
Yep.
Did you try the
that was also binary. That was also a binary.
It was binary.
It should have been faster that way, but it wasn't.
I mean, they were onto something back then, at least. But
is it any better?
Yes.
Yes.
I went to that. I'm actually using a headset mic now instead of.
Aww.
That'll do it.
Now you sound like a
thank you, Llama.
That's fine.
It changed it. It's weird because if I go into that mic now, my headset sounds like everyone's inside a tin can.
You do sound like you're in a tuna can, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I like tuna.
Fitting.
My cat too.
A llama can.
A llama can. You should sell those, kind of like the Gamer Girl bathwater, but
no.
All right, which 3D printer celebrity is going to be the first one to sell like a 3D printed bathwater? Like,
if it was Joel, I would buy it.
One time, I get a can of Spam, and I put one of those. I printed one of those stickers out, some pictures from the internet, with a unicorn, and I put unicorn meat on it. And
I do like unicorn
I give
meat.
it to some. Yeah, Spam. That's what it is. Unicorn meat.
Well,
leftovers of ham, kind of, yeah.
So I give it to somebody, and it was a big hit for them. And he showed it to his kids, and the kids just went like, "Ew!" They just started all screaming and going mad. You should have seen that. It was fun to see, you know.
Reese's Thins. Someone likes a higher chocolate to peanut butter ratio.
Dark. It's a dark chocolate too.
I never shared the cookies I had to make this week. How do I share a picture from my phone to this chat?
I don't think you can. You send it to your computer and then you.
That's so much work.
It should be easier. It should absolutely be easier to put your,
Well, it is if I had my MacBook Pro that I was on, because then it would already be there. But I'm on a Windows machine here for editing and CAD work.
Who's got the loud noise?
Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
This is supposedly the best chocolate chip cookie recipe in the world. It's Joshua Weissman's version of the Ladane cookie from the famous Ladane Bakery in New York City, which Jake should know about them.
Yeah,
Lorraine.
I watched them. I watched them also.
Yeah, so I made those, and it's one batch is 450 grams of dark chocolate.
It's a lot.
That's 5 of me.
That's four baker bars.
Dark chocolate, dude.
Oh wait, I've got a hollowed out version.
I'm just realizing I'm building a box, the jewelry box. If you saw that, but I'm realizing that I could just 3D print everything, every part of it to test fit it before making out of the wood. So I'm not wasting my time. But I mean, other than the time of printing the thing, because that's gonna take forever. But if I had a bamboo, I wouldn't take that. No, I'm just kidding.
Just get a Voron. It prints just as fast.
I do. I have one, but
costs more money though.
But you have a 0.1 kit, right? Don't you?
0.1. Yeah, 0.1.
And you have to build it.
It can print half of a box.
But that's the fun part.
120 millimeters.
I don't know.
Is like a weird sweet spot for small printers, but I think 180 is really the good like area. 180 to 200.
The Voron
was a 180
become like an Ender 3.
Yeah, salad fork.
Overdone.
No, that's 120 or 160. It's
what is
salad fork.
I just feel like if you're building the 250 is a sweet spot just because of the speed, the size.
Makes me Italian.
But like with the Delta printer, I have the weird thing of like 300 millimeter diameter doesn't always translate to,
Oh right, yeah.
So
you can't make a rectangle in 300 millimeters.
Yeah, well, it depends on the thickness of the rectangle. So it's like, you gotta get creative. So any constraint on print volume, you just have to get creative. And I think I've realized that. I mean, if people still like bamboos, and those are only 256, so like.
Yeah, that is the only downfall.
The majority of people.
I am getting rid of the P1S I repaired for a friend because I just want another Voron 300 Trident.
Yeah, a 300 does sound pretty nice, but or 350.
I have to say, I'm really interested in the 350 tool changer that Zombie Hedgehog's been building.
Oh, God, that's so cool.
I don't know why they went with the 2.4 on a tool changer. Why would you have the tools at the top and have to go all the way up to the top, grab the tool to come all the way back down?
Because you don't need a separate mechanism to attach and detach the tool head, right? Like
you don't have to have a separate mechanism if it's on the same height either. Like you can build a mechanism that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, Bruce did.
And the tool changes would be 3 times faster because you just move over, grab it, and come back versus go all the way up.
I mean, if you could be a tool changer for a Trident, right?
There is one.
Yeah, and that's where
why not just do that?
Saw it.
The Z speed is fast because it's belted.
Yeah,
so it is much faster.
But you're gonna get more stretch. The more times you go up and down, that's the only downfall of Z belt is the belt stretch is it's going to continue to stretch over time. So you're going to keep putting more wear going all the way up to the top, all the way back down in little increments. It's
right.
But if you have 5 colors and you have to go all the way up 5 times in one layer, like it.
And you do
some of the things that people design confuse me. It's like it's the Jeff Goldblum quote. It's like we didn't ask why, we just did it, and it's brilliant. Like it's freaking amazing. But it's like, but why? It's so cool.
Well, I think that's why it's the 350. Is so because you're gonna lose the volume.
Yeah, you need the 350.
Well, even with the 350, you still have to put a top hat on it, right? Like you got to extend the top otherwise.
Yeah, because that's what someone was saying in a comment, because I had commented on the video, and they're like, oh, you don't have to have a top hat. Then I'm like, no, it's at the top. The tools are still up there. So you still have to put a top hat on it if you want it enclosed. So you're gaining nothing.
I assume it's because you don't have to have as much length on your wires going up and over the top and your filament going up and over the top, it's much closer to the top there.
Yeah, we have to bring it all the way down, so it has to be longer.
Yeah,
it has to go all the way back down.
Well, no,
same length.
Same length.
No, it'd be longer. Because you have
yeah,
to
it's
go
going to
all
be
the way
longer
down with
because
that wire.
you've got the whole depth of the printer.
And then when you bring that depth all the way back to
my point is, you
top,
had to go over the top, because if you wanted to be able to print all the way from the top to the bottom, you have to go over the top.
Yeah,
you can't.
But if you had the same plane, it would be shorter.
Yeah, if you do a normal core XY, it's going to be shorter because the head stays up at the top.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to bring the filament back down again.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because you only have to reach the 300. You only have to reach the 350 radius. You have to go 350 and go down 350.
Though technically, I think you keep 350 for the whole.
You might.
So I think the benefit of having it at the top, and I agree that there's some obviously trade-offs, but the benefit of having it at the top is technically you have your full 350 at the bottom, right? Because there's nothing to get in the way.
Yeah.
And you only have to worry about
a dropper.
If you had a solid gantry either. That's why it confused me. I'm like, man, it's such a cool thing, but why is it on a?
Because it can be
on a gantry that moves up and down. Yeah, it can. You're not wrong. That is exactly why, and it's cool. It's like such a cool thing, and I loved watching the videos of it. It's like every time I see a tool changer work, because I saw a big argument on Reddit the other day about, oh man, I want AMS is better than XL. And I'm like, well, if you want a 3-second tool change for a color change, you're not going to get that on AMS. It's always going to be 30 seconds.
Right.
And you're also wasting 6 times more filament. And they're like, no, it's not true. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm probably off in the math a little bit, but
I mean,
what do you think about the
tool
black
changer
box?
Introduces the option for additive and subtractive manufacturing on the same machine is a possibility. Granted, the software is not there yet, but
E3D had additive and subtractive tool changing heads. It just never went past because E3D never designed it as a product. They designed it as a platform.
Yeah.
They
were hoping somebody was going to springboard off of that and take it someplace, and nobody ever did.
Well, that's the problem is the market. I mean, that's where Bamboo did correct. They looked at the market. They knew that everyone wanted, and I will never agree with anyone that says an appliance because you don't have that much software with an appliance anywhere else. But they went the appliance route, the Apple route. Make it as simple for anyone to use and give it as many features as possible to make that experience pleasurable. And Tool Changer, like you can do all the things you want, but then it's not pleasurable. You've now made additional confusion for the end user. I can do all these things, but how do I do it? How do I implement these things? I understand, like a lot of us would probably be like, yeah, I'd love to be able to like take a drill bit and drill stuff while I'm 3D printing. That'd be cool. But then the normal, 99% they're going to spend their money on it are be like, I don't need this. Why would I know?
Yeah, they just want colors. They
want colors. They want speed. They want good looking prints at a reasonable price. Tool changing already adds so much price.
I was going to say tool changing adds so much extra cost.
Yeah,
so and for just color, and it has a hard limit on expansion, right? Because each tool head takes up a physical amount of space. Whereas if you're just the retracting filament,
why don't we do carousel style like on Haas machines or something?
Well, that's why I wish they would make a compromise. Like I've always argued with Joseph about his MMU love. Like he wants the ramming to remove the most amount of filament to give you the best purge. Because single tool head is always going to be the most approachable multicolor for 99% of your sales or 90% of your sales. Because those are going to be your people that are just want to print color, like AMS or MMU. But the argument is MMU is much more difficult for the end user because there's so much more environmental like differences between like the material you're using, the temperatures you're printing at, what humidity your room is. It all changes how that tip forming is done. So you have this issue, and you've got cutting. Cutting was so much easier now that we've seen it. And people have been arguing with Joseph for years, like add cutting at the MMU, add cutting in the hot end. It's just it never happened. Now we got to see it, and it's like cutting rocks, right?
It's just
made it easier,
wasteful, but
made it reliable too. Far more reliable.
But actually, that blog post they did on the MMU3 for Mark IV was very interesting because they found that if they ran fast and just purged through the nozzle fast enough, they basically got a cold pull tip that they could just yank out, and then they actually had less purge volume and an empty nozzle when they were done, which I actually think is fascinating.
I beta tested for the MMU2, and that was the reason they had ramming was to It was to go over the volumetric flow rate.
Oh.
Yeah.
So basically, you're making a cold tip and then yanking that cold tip out as quickly as possible. Again, the downfall being is they needed a special heat break, and that heat break was an issue because it caused additional expansion after you pulled it out because it went from a 1.9 millimeter to a 2.2 or 2 millimeter heat break. So to expand, and then when you try to put it back in, you use any silky filaments.
Well, those die swell so much anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the complexity just,
Didn't the first MMU came out in 2013?
Yeah, the original MMU on the Mark II.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that thing worked
at that time
surprisingly well because you only had to retract like this far because that's what the A1 and the A1 Mini do. They retract into their little chamber.
They cut and retract, yeah.
Yeah, so it makes it a lot faster for the tool changes or color changes.
2012, I had 2 Prushas. I first time got into 3D printing in 2012. And I had them for maybe a month or 2. And I had a break-in and they were nicked my printers.
Oh. So I'm late to the party. I didn't start printing until 2019. So I got past a lot.
And then I stopped for a while because I couldn't afford it because I put it on my credit card, right? And of course my insurance company wouldn't want to pay out, and so I got stuck with paying £2,000 in bill.
I was building custom printers by, I don't know, 2017, 2018. I built that thing in 2018, I think. And it still goes. Barely. It's kind of getting creepy now.
Crappy printer with like 150 millimeter square bed. It printed.
I got back into printing like 4 years ago. So this is when I first time start again, and then I'm like, let's try it again.
I think I'm with Chris on like 2010 is when I started. Weren't you?
Yeah, I know you've been a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
MakerBot Cupcake was like April 2010, I think, or February, something like that. It was one of the first batches. It was not the first batch, but like I think it was like a couple months after it was launched, and they had the crappy. I mean, they're all crappy, but they kind of had revisions of the Cupcake. Kind of, I mean, like they had the problem where the tool. It actually had a tool head board, and they put the smallest MOSFET they could possibly put on it. So they were burning up those MOSFETs. Oh, yeah. That was a big issue. And then I used a relay they had a heated bed upgrade, and that was I had to use a relay. Actually, now that I look back at how bad that was, a relay to cycle on the heat bed. And then the first layer was literally the first thing you did was you printed a knob so that you could turn the Z belt so that the Z screws. So with the first layer, you're basically manually adjusting the first layer. Actually, I thought that was a great idea. They should still do that. Man. It's kind of like micro stepping back then. And then
I'm so glad we've gone to.
Yeah, after the first layer, then it would lock the Z, and so then it print. But also the Z screws were Acme thread, so they were just super wobbly. There was no linear rails on those Z, so the whole stage wobbled. Oh. And then the XY platform had these bushings that were basically like so loose, so the whole platform would wobble. And then the whole thing was a wooden, like an 1/8 inch, I think 3/16 or 1/8 inch laser cut wooden box. So it was like echo chamber, and they were using the old Allegro. I think it wasn't even a Lego driver. It was like even older stepper drives, and just everything about it was bad. But like, but I mean, I feel like I'm like the dark ages of like 3D printing just talking about it. But I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was
moved very quickly.
10 years ago.
And that's why it's so interesting coming back after these new round of printers have kind of released is watching what a whole bunch of really passionate people did as a side project to turn something made out of random parts into a commercial product. It's just such an amazing feat of community engineering and just like passion. Like it just
I feel like I don't really have any nostalgia from the old times other than like, we had to print uphill both ways in the snow.
Right.
Kind of thing.
I will say some of those old printers I had
wasn't one of the first printers
as good as the
rep?
new ones. They're just a lot slower.
Yeah, so the Darwin was the first rep, according to, but
around
that time
I saw a Darwin. I think there was a Darwin on Smurf when I went there.
Someone rebuilt a Darwin with modern parts.
Yeah, someone modernized the Darwin.
That thing is so cool.
Vector 3D,
right? Wasn't it Vector 3D? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he did and that printer might be at Rocky Mountain.
Man, that was so cool.
Oh yeah, because Ellie bought it, right?
God,
we'll
it's
see.
so funny
She
even
hasn't
thinking
gotten
about
it
Clipper.
shipped in yet.
Like think about how rudimentary Clipper was when it launched to where it is like 4 years later.
Well, and it was before Marlin, it was Sailfish.
Oh God, yeah. Or Rep.
And before Sailfish, I think it was originally Rep firmware. It was called something else, right? It was Rep
Repeteer.
There's Repeteer, which is a fork, but I thought it was called Rep firmware, but it was Teacup. I think Teacup was originally it, and then it became Sailfish. But I mean, they were using the Sanguino chipset, which was a 18 mega 1280, and then you basically made your own breakout board with through-hole components using this giant dip package, 18 mega, and that was like the first controllers for RepRap. So
I was showing the people in the presentation like early printers and saying this is where we came from, and I was like, look, you have to understand, until like 2019, almost all of them were running 8-bit boards.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what?
We stopped wrapping nichrome wire around brass barrels in probably around 2014. So, I mean, it wasn't until basically E3D came out with the V4 or V5 when it actually was like popularized, and then the hexagon, and there's quite a bit of history that's lost, and I think that's what happens at these RepRap events too. Like,
you should bring up. Did you bring up the fact that we should just use string trimmer line?
Oh my God!
I never actually did.
MakerBot
just had
40 slides.
Yes.
So I was I was blowing through massive errors, but my point was like it started this way, and it never Q-boards would never have worked back in 2010, even at 2015, 2016.
It could have worked back then, yes, because you could do single color changes.
Yeah, but the slice time would have been ungodly, and the number of polygons and all the it would have been rough. It wouldn't have given you good.
Man, I've sliced some really poorly done models onto some crappy slicers.
Yeah.
I had way too many polygons.
I would not have had enough of a market for it to be.
No.
No,
the market wasn't there.
It was the streamline. It was the Chinese. It was the Chinese printers that made it.
Yeah, and literally, I have a slide in there that says Ender 3 Crowdy explodes the market, and that was this is where the market kind of blew up in size. And then my next slide is with a ton of new users, you get requests for stupid things like multicolor printing.
I think Simplify 3D was around back in 2014 as well. Because
it's a whole bunch of new. I watched it a whole bunch because I came in 2018, 2019. That was like the Ender 3 explosion, and I got an Ender 3 Pro. And there were all these people who were new to printing who were like, "Why can't I print in a bunch of colors? Why is it only one color?" And I'm like, even at the time,
well, there were dual color heads in that time.
They were IDEX heads way back.
Era was out.
Yeah,
then.
there was.
And
my very first real printer was you could buy it in IDEX.
It was just so expensive and also not.
And also, the nozzles had to be
not
calibrated
really good
to each other.
It was hard because again, I mean, the first actual good multicolor was the Mark II MMU. I mean,
well, the other thing, the Stratasys printers, the patent for the Stratasys printers specifically had a tilting head so that you didn't ooze one head.
It would flip.
So it actually flips up and down.
Oh, it was the flip up and down because I know there's one that did the knock back and forth.
No, it was actually it was tilting, so it would engage.
Yeah.
And then it would disengage.
Because it was on a servo that would just go.
But then this one wouldn't ooze into the part that you're. Because I don't think they used ooze shields on the Stratasys.
Who did the double tappy one? There was somebody that had one.
There was one that did it up and down, but I thought the first one was a servo that just went.
I've
seen designs
for it. Cameras over here.
Well, Raise 3D had the dual head where one would raise up and the other one would lower down.
Is that what it was? I knew it was
and then you had Ultimaker 3, the Ultimaker 3. They had the removable cartridges. The second cartridge would physically go over and I think like lift up. It would go over and like hook and make the secondary head lift or something. So I mean, Ultimaker had the Ultimaker 3 was out back in 2017.
Yeah, when was the last time you seen Ultimaker doing anything? I remember back in the day,
completely different markets. Like, and that's the downfall with 3D printing.
You don't
is
even
like
hear
to
about
compare. Well, you don't hear about it because they don't sell to I mean, to normal.
You don't hear
people.
about the education market, but that's like probably $1 billion.
I mean, the education market has so many Enders, so many Ultimakers, so many Prusas, so many just random things you would never want to own because I mean, well, you want to own a Prusa and an Ender, but
all the maker bots collecting dust in the classrooms.
All the Dremel printers. I mean, it's just because and Lulz bots. I mean, you got to remember the one of the issues like with schools back then, especially, they're extremely critical on the electronics. And Taz was like the big company that was like, hey, look at our electronics. This is all CE certified. This is all going to not set a fire to your building. And then you had like ANETs. I mean, ANET was still in the same era of like, I'm going to set your house on fire.
But I mean, there was. I mean, there's only been a handful of US based printer manufacturers, and
ANET printers by bit.
When I got back into printing, I got myself the G-Tech Me Creator 2.
Oh yeah, G-Tech made some two color printers that had either two ports.
The A30T and the A30M. One was a dual color, one was a triple color. They also make a 20 and a 30 version.
Yeah, but none of them took off, right? Because they just had too many issues.
It was a lot of issues. Well, a lot of issues, and I really feel the market didn't care as much because no one could see what it could do. Like it wasn't until
it was hard to get multicolor print files.
There wasn't a slicer that cared about it.
Slicers couldn't handle it.
There wasn't a manufacturer who cared enough about it to make it easy for everyone. Because those are the other things. Like we had other
Kiss Slicer could do. Kiss Slicer could do multiple tools.
That was one of the first ones that did multicolor, multi-tool.
Yeah. Simplified 3D was always multicolor too, right?
Yeah, but Kiss Slicer actually was.
I think there's two colors though on Simplify. They cared about IDEX.
I think I think
I don't remember more, but
Kiss Slicer was really revolutionary because it led you to do post processes.
You know,
Kiss Slicer's still around, and it
stick to
still
one
looks like
filament company's filament.
Yeah, no, I didn't like Kiss Slicer's interface. I think that's why it wasn't popular.
Yeah. Oh, it still looks like Windows 93 or 95.
I still think. Hey, Llama, remember when we used to mess with
It had really good
Slicer
with the Craftbot?
Yeah, remember their Slicer?
I had it out like 6 months ago. It's actually not bad now.
Dude, Craftbot still has the best support integration for making supports because you literally click where you want the support to go and where you want it to end. You terminate, you click, and that's where it puts the support. That is still the optimal way of making support. And I used to do that all the time in Idea Maker where I would rotate the model.
Yeah, you
could click and it would actually make the support in the vertical axis. So as long as you rotated it, you could make supports go any direction you wanted. So you could make organic supports
nice about
manually,
Idea Maker.
which is amazing.
You make the support and then you could rotate it and the support stayed with
it.
A lot of them, it always went horizontal or vertical.
Yeah, it had to come vertical no matter what. You couldn't rotate the print to put your support and then rotate it back because then it'd be like, why'd you do that? That was dumb.
Idea Maker.
All right, guys. I was going to say good night and see you guys next time. Hopefully you're on Saturday.
See you, man.
Sayonara.
Thanks for staying up.
Yep.
Oh, man.
He's always up.
Yeah, but it was really the Mosaic palette and Prusa that were like the two that were pushing multicolor for the regular commercial market.
I think the palette too was really good when I
really good.
When I finally got it out of the box and used it, and spent a month trying to get it working.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I had it for
online
2 years.
The online canvas slicer was very good. Like you could import
all
the profiles.
It was very slow.
You could do, but you could do a lot of stuff with it. and it was an online slicer, and it had a really good seamless integration with Octoprint. And you buy their little Raspberry Pi box, like it was very seamless.
Well, you had to have Octoprint. I mean, that was a smart thing.
I was
using.
The only thing I got that thing to do good was make me a freaking sample roll of filament. It was really
and I mean, it does that too. I'm just saying,
into
like,
a roll. That's all I ever got the palette to do.
For basically being pre AMS and pre like MMU2, it was the best option.
Yeah.
And even the MMU2 is bad, so nobody actually like the Palette 2 was the best until the AMS.
The MMU2 was missing the software. The thought process was very good. Have one tool head with very short throw for the withdrawal. Leave it up there. You can put the colors in. It jammed a lot. It had its mechanical issues, its engineering faults. But the software
haven't really heard anything good about MMU3 yet because I haven't seen many people
because
use it.
On the Mark III, it works great. Apparently, I've had
it works.
I do have people that don't have it working, but the majority of people I know have it working as reliably as an AMS because you're still going to have like the stupid AMS third slot bug where that one doesn't want to retract, and then you got to manually fix it, which is annoying as shit.
Hey, Big Jano.
Hydra fixed that for me.
Jano.
Man, if I got to print like 17 hours worth of prints to make this thing work, I just fudge it every once in a while.
I printed them on my 0.6 on my Core XYs. I did it on 2 printers. It took 5 hours total.
Yeah.
I printed 4 of them at this point.
Dang.
So, it's so much work.
Yes.
It's not that much work. You just set it overnight, come back in the morning, you got it set.
Then I got to build it, take apart.
Okay,
make sure you don't pull too hard when you take those 2 pieces apart because there's that one not ribbon cable, that one little cable that's really close.
I didn't have any problem with that, but it is 45 minutes to swap one out.
Yeah,
35 to 45 minutes to swap one out, and that's even knowing exactly what to do. Just because all the screws, you got to keep track of all the screws. You got to it takes a while to put it back together. But I originally put it in because the Prusament spools wouldn't work because they're press fit, and so they're not always at the same diameter. Like even the same, it'll be like 68 and 75 at the top, and so it would spin halfway and then free, get stuck. And so printing the Hydra mod fixed that. So I did that on one, and I would use it for my problematic spools. And then I was like, okay, I got to do this for the others. I actually have one I haven't installed yet. It's just sitting over here. It's screwed together, but it hasn't been installed. So I've installed 3 of them. And yes, sitting down to install the 4th one, I'm like, because I don't use, so you can't see them, but I have a bamboo here and a bamboo there. And one of them is a 0.4 nozzle, and one of them's a 0.2. And I don't do the 0.2 that often, but I do like having it just sitting there in 0.2 if I want to do a small or a detailed board print. So that one doesn't get used as much. So it has one that's not modified and one that is modified. But now I'm trying to decide if I'm going to swap it. Do I want to make the new Hydra Pro, whatever, and see if it's any better?
Yeah, I was thinking about doing the Hydra Pro, but then I'm in the fence of just getting rid of all the bamboo ones because I just enjoyed my other printer so much more now. It's one of those confusing things. Because I try to modernize. Because I got the 1X1 free from Bamboo to do a review pre-release from Kickstarter, which I never did. I told him to pound sand. I'm like, don't send me shit unannounced.
Oh, okay.
And then this one I fixed for a buddy. It couldn't get work. He got it dead on arrival. It had a pinched cable inside, and it took forever to figure it out because it's not like a normal printer. You're like, what in the world did they do in there? And it had a pinched cable, and a couple of parts had to be replaced. So it spent like $100 and made a new cable because they didn't sell that specific cable at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think they even sell that cable. But yeah, I just made the cable, and now it works. But they didn't even. He had to do a chargeback on it because they wouldn't work with him. 2 months. He kept going through on chat.
Someone that just joined. Let's see.
They're like, send us.
Yeah,
this picture.
They're a weird company with that, where sometimes the support experience is great, and sometimes the support experience is hey, it's Ajax.
Sideways at almost Ajax. Sideways Jax. Rotate camera.
It doesn't want to rotate for me.
No.
It's hotel.
Pivot.
Oh, he did sword and beard order too. So
yeah.
Except Mitch is out of order now.
Oh crap! Hold on. I think he'll go here.
Yeah.
Keep llama in the.
It's beard night on.
It is
on Justin's stream.
It's facial hair night.
Give me 24 hours. I'll have a beard. Actually, I already got one grown.
I'd love to see llama with a big beard. That way we can actually call him a llama because he has a little bit, fuzz on his face.
Dude, when I was like 16, I had a bigger beard than you do now. I had a full-on ZZ Top beard when I graduated high school.
Man, that would have been hot. I would have been like, damn, that llama guy.
Most like people my age when I was in high school were like peach fuzzy, and I had full beard. Like 13, 14, I was growing a beard.
I had a chin strap when I was 16.
Gross. I just do it.
That's more just poor choices on your part.
Yeah.
That was popular.
Did you have a
when I
chain
was
wallet
16.
though? Did you have a chain?
Yeah, I had Jinko jeans. I was a skater, so I had Jinko jeans,
yeah?
a chain wallet, chin strap,
Right.
backwards baseball cap, a lot of cuts and bruises.
See, it took me like
So you weren't a good
months to grow this.
It's worth the months. It looks gorgeous. I would.
You haven't waxed it though. It's not all waxed and twisted up.
It's a
Wax
mess.
on, wax off.
I should go find my
You
wax
must-
and join the.
We
join
can't
the
call it a
party.
mustachio until you wax it.
I'm just too
I-
lazy to shave. That's why.
Is
I
that
haven't-
llama?
Wait,
like
llama. That's what
100
you used to
years
look like back in the
Is that
day.
you from 100 years ago?
That was 1983.
Oh, 1883. Got it.
Yeah, 1883.
I was 1 year old when that picture was taken.
That's an awesome hat though. That's pretty cool.
I was
That was,
just that day. I was
That was
4.
Halloween 1983 or 84.
I would say that's a pretty scary photo.
It was just before I went to college because I had to start college late because I had just gotten out of a car accident. And
You know he's old because he's got a box of photographs right by his desk.
Yeah.
It's
they're
funny
actual
'cause
photographs. They're not just
we've
reprints.
been, oh, dude, I've got actual Polaroids. You want to get really old? Like the old shake 'em.
Are they appropriate for YouTube?
Nah,
Okay.
some
Maybe
are, some are not.
You keep those too.
Marcel.
Marcel. Selmar, my first subscriber.
Off axis. Wait, who is?
Yeah. Yeah, he was my first subscriber.
Oh, welcome.
All right, Marcel. Now you have to unsubscribe and then resubscribe.
So, fully constrained sketches don't break. I mean, you could still break stuff. The problem is complex fusion stuff. Is it's easy to break stuff because you're designing top down. So I'm trying to force myself to design bottom up, and it's really
I
complicated.
have negatives.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got Polaroids in the closet.
I have several boxes of family photos, and I have a
I
scanner. I have a scanner, but like archival, like photo archival, is like the worst tedious thing you could possibly imagine.
Well, the problem with photo archival is half the places didn't actually print on archival quality papers or use archival.
I have a
chemicals.
whole stack of. Some of them are just stuck together. What is that?
You can't really see that. That's actually
that's
the end
Route
of my
156.
driveway. That's Route 156. In
I wasn't born
1982.
yet.
Yeah.
That was the flood of '82. That's the end of my driveway.
Oh,
It's
that's
about-
when
it's
Noah's
about
Ark
6 feet.
flood.
It's about 6 feet underwater.
Wait, where is that?
That was Noah's
In
Ark's flood,
Connecticut.
Mitch.
Oh, in your Connecticut?
Yeah.
Yeah, my family's from upstate New York, so it looked familiar.
That was the first time I ever got a helicopter ride because I got stuck in Ivanton, Connecticut, visiting my brothers, and all the bridges is blown out. Like everything in this area got fucking devastated. It was like a massive flood. And the National Guard was bringing in food to feed people because nobody could get even to the grocery store. You just couldn't get around. There was literally I got a picture somewhere of a car in a tree. It floated up and got stuck in a tree. But anyway, National Guard was there feeding everybody. And I was sitting there bullshitting. And I guess one of the National Guard guys knew my brother or something. They went to high school together. And they were like, oh, my brother needs to get home. And he's like, where is he? You know why? Well, the National Guard base is only one town over. You know, fucking hop in a helicopter. We'll take you home.
Mm-hmm.
So the freaking National Guard went and freaking dropped me off at the end of my driveway.
They should have sent you a bill.
Yeah, that's what I was
It
thinking. I
would
was
these
like,
days.
it's just like an ambulance now, or it's just like, well, that's gonna be your whole.
It was cool.
mortgage.
First time I'd ever been in a helicopter. It was awesome.
I have not been in a helicopter. I've been in a blimp. But I've not been in a
Helicopters are
helicopter.
awesome.
Never been in a blimp. I've been in a helicopter like a dozen times.
We actually, when we got up in the blimp, we're like, there's probably than maybe 1,000, 2,000 people that have been in blimps.
Go open a blimp and then light up a cigarette.
That's not.
They're not made of hydrogen anymore.
Not just burn yourself.
Which part of helium is not flammable? Do you not understand?
No, I know. It's the whole.
No, that's an Archer reference. Obviously, the core concept. The blimp was interesting. The first day that I didn't go up the first day, they could only take 3 of our crew. We had it was 5 or 6 of us engineers. We were putting stuff on the blimp, and the first day they went up and there was a grounding problem, and they went to go do something, and sparks flew everywhere and stuff, and they're like, we don't feel safe up here. And the blimps don't like to land during the day because, especially in the summer, because the heat off the ground makes it really hard for them. They literally have to drive themselves straight down at the ground with their engines to try to land. But they had to do an emergency landing, and then there's guys on the ground that just grab ropes and attach it to a tower and haul it in. But one of the guys he flew the blimp at the Athens Olympics, and he said that we would wait as long as we could, and then we would just go full bore straight down at the ground and hope that the heat coming off the ground wouldn't push us back up into the air before we could get caught. It was when they took off. They actually had Porsche engines on the 2 engines were Porsche engines, and those things were loud when it went off, and they were loud when they drove to the ground. But it was interesting. In the air, it was like being in a boat, and they told us it's like being in a boat in the ocean when you're up in the air. But when you're taking off and landing, it was freaky.
Anyway.
You get bad storms by you last night, Tom? Llama?
Oh, we got fucking devastated around here. There's still a bunch of schools that aren't in yet because they got flooded out. We got a whole town that's under freaking the dam broke and flooded the whole fucking town. Like the whole town. Like people.
Where's the Army Corps of Engineers?
Well, that's what they're pissed off about because it was a privately owned dam, and the guy had warnings on it. You know, because they go in when it's privately owned, the feds or state or whatever go in and inspect it every couple of years. And he failed a bunch of inspections. He either had to fix it, or here in Connecticut, if you can't afford it, the Army Corps of Engineers will help you. And he never applied. He never even. All he had to do was say, "Please help." You know, make it so it's safe. And he never submitted the paperwork. So they are all up in his tighty whities. They are all people.
It does seem like a little bit of a failure of the state to not say, "Oh, you're not going to fix it. We're taking it from you and fixing it." Like, you know.
Well, that's just it. The state of Connecticut removed all state-owned dams like 10 years ago. There's no dams left in Connecticut unless they're privately owned.
Okay. Just like private prisons.
Freaking fishes, because I guess the fish ladders aren't working. So they took out all the dams. They're not privately owned. They got taken out. It's kind of funny because they were taking them out, and my neighbor has a dam over here, and it blew out. That's what that flood was in '82, and he just put it back in like 5 years ago. I don't know how he got it in because he ain't supposed to. Connecticut is not allowing dams anymore because it's restricting fish movement.
Right.
So, I had an opportunity to talk to Army Corps of Engineer guy, and he was telling me about how when the government used to came in, like this is partially why states are backing off on the whole dams and large infrastructure, is the Army Corps of Engineers came in a long time ago. They build a project like a dam or a large complex feature, and then they say, okay, it's yours, good luck, take care of it. And a little tiny town of like 500 people are like, how do we maintain this multi-million-dollar piece of infrastructure? And they can't. So the Army Corps Engineer comes back, every 5-10 years, and like, hey, this thing's like 50 years old, can you guys sort of replace it? It's going to cost you like $5 million. I'm like, we've got like 1,000 people now, we can't afford that. So the state then has to jump in, and then it goes up the level and level and level. So like states are kicking down hard on that in order to reduce the liability before it gets to them.
This was bad though because they got a foot of snow on Wednesday or Thursday, and then 6 inches of rain on Monday.
Yeah,
and that's crazy. That's like unheard of around here. get that quick swap.
Damn you, El Nino.
Because it's 45 degrees out. Freaking January. It's usually
it's finally cold out here in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's really warm here.
We finally had snow in the Midwest. That stuck. It's January.
We didn't really get
supposed
any
to
snow here.
stretch
They got
according
it.
to off-axis.
You got it
So
north of here. You didn't get any snow.
everyone
did you,
has
Jake?
to stretch because off-axis did it.
Did you get any snow last week?
Come on.
Me?
I'm stretching my thumb.
Off-axis redeemed stretch.
Okay, stretch.
Wait.
Oh,
there you go. That's a good
You
one.
might hurt yourself.
That's a good one.
Oh man. Yeah, we got 2
stretching
inches.
my index
finger.
We haven't had snow in like 3 years.
Yeah, we're supposed
but
to get snow.
we're perpetually on the rain snow line where I live. I live near DC, and we're literally always on the rain line. So like people to the west of us, a couple miles, will get 3 inches, 4 inches of snow, and we'll get rain. But this time, no one got. I mean, there was a little dusting up north of us, but you had to go a couple hours north to get any snow.
I miss when I was a kid and we used to have snow all through December and January.
We didn't really have it. We've never had it in December, but January, February, we would always get 3 or 4, 3+ inch snowfalls. And every once in a while, we had, when I was in high school, we had a year we had 4 feet in 2 days, which was very, very unusual, but it did happen. And we've had a couple of basically that's what we have now is we either have a giant snowfall or nothing.
Yeah. That's the same here because it was, as a wedding photographer for 14 years, when I started doing this, I would always get requests for winter snow photos, and you would just do them. In the last probably 5-6 years, I have not had a successful winter snow photo because it's either it snows 3 feet and it's a blizzard, or it's turns like 40 degrees, everything melts and it's brown.
Yep.
Like there's not a consistent snow that just sticks for like a couple days.
Flood.
The last year, I think it was
we did have a couple of floods because of the rain that happened versus snow.
I hate mud. Snow
I think
mud.
last year we were. Oh, are you Rigeling? Is that a Farscape reference? Hating mud.
Yeah.
Mud. No, we here in New England we call it smud.
Smud. Okay.
It's the snow that turns to mud when it.
Yeah,
It's still
last
snow, but
year
it's still mud.
we didn't get snow, but our family in North Carolina got snow. I'm like, how does Virginia not get snow and North Carolina get snow?
Yeah. I've ice fished for the last 10 years, and this is the first year there still isn't ice on a single lake out here that you can stand on.
Hey, but climate change isn't real.
Well, the question is if it's anthropomorphic or not.
Yeah, are we in a cycle or are we not? That's
right.
But unfortunately, right now it sucks because
look, it's Steve.
Hey, his beard needs to be placed
over
up there.
Yeah, he's got to be there. That's right.
Hold on, let me move everyone around.
Proper order.
How's it going, everyone?
There. We'll put
I'm alive.
Steve, how are you?
Oh, that's Steve. I was like, there's more than one Steve here.
Yeah, he's been on. How's Steve?
Whoa. There's Steve and there's Steve.
I don't know.
There's a difference.
Steve's beard is better
Hold on,
than.
let's do. Hold on.
Steve's beard.
Now we have both.
Are we doing it by like
the
grayness
Steves
or
are
color
surrounded.
or like beard
Hey, Steve,
spectrum?
how's it going?
Good.
All right, how are you, Steve?
Good. Long day.
Here, hold on.
End of the
Here,
day.
I can just remove everyone. It should be the Steve show.
There you go.
I always say hello to you in chat, but I don't think we ever met in person.
We haven't.
Steve from Blues
I
Clues?
recognize
Is
your
that
name.
you?
Absolutely.
It's Matt from Jake from Farm from State.
I don't know. I think I don't remember when I picked this name. I know I was drunk, and I think I had started to troll people, but then I started making friends with the people I was trolling, so it just stuck.
That's usually how Murph goes.
That's a good. Yeah, that's how the events always go.
Man, Murph got tame. Like Murph was the craziest party.
It was, but then Earth
it was.
came up, and then we came up,
And then Rocky Mountain had to dominate and be the best one.
Yeah. I mean, we already have
Don't
almost
tell the others.
1,300 people signed up as of today, which is insane.
I just say whoever I'm talking to has the best.
We're coming up on 1,300 people.
Wow.
To be fair, one of them actually, sets a date and like organizes things and tells people what the date is and takes tickets like months out in advance, while the other one goes,
started tickets.
I don't know when we're going to have this event. It might be June. It might be July.
Mm-hmm.
We should get
we don't
Sonny
know.
on here.
It's really hard to plan life around unpredictability.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
There's a date now, though, right?
Yep, there is.
If only like organizing shows is hard.
It is. It ain't easy.
I would say it was difficult if it hadn't been going on for like a decade.
Well, it's not difficult when you're come to the event. It's here, see you then.
Yeah.
Well, it has gotten more difficult because there's so many more events now. It used to be like there was an event. Now there's there was another rep event. Now it's a
Utopia.
The market base doesn't really care about rep, so we're gonna be the non-rep event.
Yep.
Big Jano, I need to buy my airfare actually. I have my hotel, got my table, but I don't have my airfare yet.
I'm just staying in Justin's playroom.
I was staying in this playroom.
I told Ajax I was going to stay at his place, but he said no.
So you probably don't want that.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to convince me I don't want that.
I think Ian said he booked all his stuff. So
yeah,
Justin's wife is like, who is this random bearded guy that's living in underneath your printers?
Plus my dad.
And why is this filament in our bedroom?
It's warm at least, right?
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
I cannot bring my filament with me. A little bit. But
you can just send it ahead of time.
Yeah, I need to call the hotel and make sure that the Embassy Suites can go back one day because I originally booked Friday to Monday.
Yeah.
And I need to go back to Thursday because I want to fly in on Thursday.
Yeah, good choice. There'll be an impromptu dinner Thursday night.
Yeah, so I need to call them and say, can I? I'm sure it'll be fine since I have the rooms booked from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, that's booked fine.
I think I'm only doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday because I don't want to blow all my money.
Yeah. Well,
I'd rather
you
stay
have
in
money?
a crappy hotel. No, I don't. I have somebody else's money. That's how I'm going.
Right.
So
that's the best way.
That's the best
either that or
way.
I'm gonna sell something to go. I'm gonna go whether I.
Do you have a working
money or
second
not.
kidney?
I mean, I have enough gas money to go there. I'm just gonna have to sleep in my car for.
No, we'll just put you inside the venue and you can be secure.
Yeah, I'm sure
You
there's
can
a
sleep
Voron.
in the
I'm sure
Voron.
there's a Voron I can.
Yeah, you can sleep in the Voron.
I mean,
in one of the
I got
tables
one.
that are gonna be there.
Don't you have V24?
I have a Phoenix.
Oh,
I have a Phoenix,
is the big
and
one.
it is should be there.
I mean, I'm small. I can fit in my controller cabinet for my CNC, so I can fit in my Voron.
How many metric Mitches can we?
I used to be the one in the band hall that would go in the tuba cases.
The good news is you have a heated bed, so you'll be warm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. That's
you just
true.
might be too warm.
2.4 kilowatts worth of heat.
There you go.
Justin, we're gonna find somebody that's driving through my area to kidnap that printer, so that way they can hand deliver it to you.
How are you getting
I don't
power
know
to that
someone.
printer? Is
Oh,
it 2240 volt?
Check with DB3
Ow.
or check with Dan. He might. He's
Oh, is
driving.
Dan driving up?
Yeah. Get in touch with him.
I don't know if Dan's going, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to
He's
Dan.
going.
'Cause he might be able to ride with
No.
me.
Yeah. No.
Oh, that's
Dan,
what we talked about going
Dan's
together,
talking
but
about that.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. But if they can, otherwise we can figure out shipping.
Yeah.
No.
I still
yeah,
haven't heard
so-
back from Georgia from E3D.
I know. I just messaged her tonight, so
I want
She
to
needs to
drive so
pick her
they don't have
booth.
to worry about because flying kind of sucks, and it's really I think it's worth taking
I mean,
a day.
you flew
2
to
days off.
Earth with like a million freaking things.
Nobody
No,
wants to
I
drive
really
to the East
I
Coast.
enjoyed during the drive from St. Louis to Colorado. That was actually a nice drive.
Mhm. Yeah,
So
there's
I don't
nothing
mind
to
it.
see.
I'm just gonna blow 2 PTO days, which I guess is okay.
Yeah.
Since it's kind of the end of my cycle because it restarts in July. So for
How far
PTO
is
stuff.
Estes Park from Rocky Mountain?
I don't know, 45 minutes on a good day.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's
Depending on
actually
the
only
weather.
like 20. It's only like 25 miles, but you only go like 25 miles an hour up the hill because there's always a semi or a guy with a trailer. Or
It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do. We have our veteran program they do with the disabled vets. We have one in Estes Park now.
Nice.
So I could go there for free and just travel with a guy that comes from Detroit and be like, "You guys, do you want to see if that's a clinic
Pretty cool.
week?"
That would be cool.
And go up there.
Yeah, I have an office. I have an office in Loveland too. I want to try to.
There you go. Yeah, you gotta use all the advantages of working somewhere. Yes.
So I found my next backpack printer. It's just gonna be
M12s.
I'm gonna get 5,000 M12 batteries.
5,000?
No,
is that
I'm
the
just
number
saying,
you need?
like, I mean, that would power a house.
Now we know
but,
why
like,
he has no money. 5,000 batteries. That's good.
No,
he carried a
M12
one
batteries.
incorrectly.
They're basically just three. They're literally 3 8650s. So they're just way overpriced.
Holy crap! Who's doing construction over there?
Yeah, somebody's doing construction.
Right? Oh, it's Matt from Jake from State from Farm.
That was me?
Yeah, I think you were making noise. Someone's got some background noise.
It's just Llama.
It could be my printer. It's almost done.
Oh yeah, it's always Llama and his printers.
How dare he print?
So Tom, I was looking at your dust boot setup, and I want to print one, but I found a couple different versions of dust boots. But like your TPU one, I got the really stiff, I got the SaneSmart TPU, but
yeah,
I've never printed
the cheaper
that big.
The cheaper the better, because
the
easier it is to print. And
but that's like a kilogram of. That's like a kilogram to print that thing with support. It's huge, right?
No, I didn't even use a half a roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it.
I didn't really use support.
That
was Idea Maker days where I could just run a line of supports down the middle of it. That's all.
Supports
if you look at the inside, the bottom of it was all jaggy, and I just hit it with a heat gun and a putty knife and smoothed it out.
Mitch, what you do is you take your
TPU support's kind of not worth it though, because it just sticks to itself too easy.
Yeah, they just stick to it.
Yeah.
Mitch, just take your XL5 tool head and just one tool head TPU, one tool head PLA. And just use the
because it's really not that.
I think we just talked about how much money I don't have.
Because you bought an XL5.
Because I bought an XL now. Man, if I would have not canceled that pre-order, I would be in so deep right now.
Right.
That a lot of things changed in the 2.5 years it took them to finally deliver.
Yeah.
An entire economy collapsed in that time frame. So
I remember Uncle Jesse was saying, like, why couldn't I be, paying into this during this time frame? And I kind of why they should have put it.
Well,
you should have made
the
an
biggest issue is, as someone who's owned a Prusa for a very long time and dealt with the community, is they hated paying up front for it all, because the issue was they had the same issue the Mark III. They pay you pay 100% up front, and they're like, well, I paid for it up front, I want it now.
Right.
Well, if they're going to do that, Prusa should have done Kickstarter if they're going to do that.
He wasn't saying I want to pay for the whole thing up front. He's like, can't I be paying $100 a month towards
That's the thing, is they were like, they took a stance. They go, we're no longer taking all of the money up front.
Yeah,
I would have
because
done
so many people complain.
I should have done it. I would rather done like an Affirm through that.
Which you can do.
Because I was gonna use PayPal credit, but then that got tanked. But
that's still allowed.
Wow.
Oh no.
Mine didn't. Yeah. But anyway.
Tempted by that.
Job changes kind of suck.
You have to stop getting divorced, Mitch.
I know. All those wives I don't have.
Look at you.
Ex-wives are expensive.
I know.
You know, the number one thing I found that's awesome about having bad credit? Nobody wants to steal your credit.
There you go. Yeah, nobody's gonna steal my identity, even though I'm like.
Nope. Anybody steals my fucking identity, they're gonna get what they deserve.
I'm very doxable.
All that debt is yours now.
Yeah, but they can't steal my identity because I don't have a Bamboo Labs printer. So.
Right.
Wait, it's not in your log files?
Yeah, the log files have my social security and.
I love that that discussion happened the other when they posted the new blog, and everyone's like, "Look, they weren't stealing data," and like literally in the comment, like, "Yeah, they mentioned that our log files had a little bit too much information, so we're gonna trim that down." Like, so we're just gonna write that 6 paragraphs down in very little tiny lowercase letters. And everyone's like, "See, there was no issue." Right?
It's very, very easy to overlog, though. Like, really easy to overlog. It's also
and they explained it, and it made sense.
One thing in development.
When they were developing it, they had bigger logs.
Yeah.
Well, they never changed the log file since developing the printer. So
Q4 isn't running like a botnet on my printer, on my computer.
when you push to society at large, the logs
mining.
are almost more important than when you're in dev because things break like crazy and weird situations occur. But you need to be careful about what you have in your logs. But it's not. I to me as a developer who has a software product that relies on people to send me log files from time to time to fix their problems. It's always a fight between I don't have enough log data and it's too much log data. Though since I don't do anything with anyone's identity or any kind of stuff like that, the only log data I give out is, I will get their path.
Do you disclose it though?
I don't automatically collect the logs. They have to send them to me.
Yeah, so but even then, does it disclose what you're sending?
Oh, it's in plain text, right?
It's in plain text.
Okay.
But you have a terms of service agreement that says that they have the right to use the files that you send over the cloud because their terms of service does say that they have access to your files that are sent over the cloud.
Yeah.
That was the biggest issue I had of their terms of service because they have one paragraph where they explain that they don't do that, but if you read further down in their terms of service, like 10 pages down, they go over what goes over their network, and they're like, "Yeah, your file goes over a network. It's encrypted." And they have the key. It's not like they don't have the key to look at it, but they're just saying we don't look at it. That's all they're saying. So they're playing the Apple thing.
Yeah, but okay. Yeah. I agree. They absolutely have the key. They can absolutely look at it. Yeah. But at the same time, we don't care that Ring can do exactly the same thing with our doorbell camera. It does all the freaking time.
To be fair, people did, and they stopped buying them. I mean, there was a big hubbubaloo when they found out about that police can just access your Ring anytime they want because after Amazon bought them out.
Yeah.
Right. So there was a hubbubaloo, and people will make it, and deservedly so, because if you weren't disclosed that data is doing such a thing, I consider it negligence, not an actual threat of they're going to do something bad. It just I feel we're getting to a point where companies need to disclose in non-legalese what's going on with your data, because we're getting to the point where
plain English.
Just give me in English terms what my data is going to be used for. That way I can agree or not agree. Don't give me this 30-page terms of service agreement that basically says you own everything legally and give me no rights.
Right.
And I think that's fair. And again, if they want to do what they're doing, they can do it. I still don't understand I understand why people are arguing about Bamboo and what they did with their files, but just don't buy it. If it's that big of a deal, don't buy it. Don't support it. I don't buy it. I don't buy their film.
Well, you don't have to use the cloud with it. You can use that.
You don't.
Sneakernet, right?
Setting up the P1S sucks without the Bamboo Handy app. Don't ask me how I know.
And you have to use the cloud.
And land mode sucks on the P1S. It's horrible. It's basically garbage. You can't FTP into it, which you should honestly be able to just SSH or whatever into your printer. I don't understand why that's locked out on the P1S, but again,
someone hasn't come
don't buy it. If you can't do it, don't buy
it.
it. That's why I'm switching over to Vorons again. Now that it's become much more stable.
Why they locked that out? Because
I don't know.
People are idiots, and they're selling, as you said, an appliance-like printer that just does everything for you. And so that's their whole ethos: is don't mess with the printer. And actually, I hate that because I'm like, oh, the flow rate's wrong. I want to adjust it right now. Oh, nope, can't.
Yeah,
can't adjust it. The Z offset's a little bit off. Let me fix it. Nope, I can't. But
and there's some pretty angry users right now because they did that no rollback when the X1 Plus firmware came out. They couldn't roll back, and there's a couple users that were like, my Z is 2 millimeters higher with this new firmware upgrade, and I can't change it. And some guy's like, "Oh, you can edit your G code to have this," and he did, and it didn't fix it, and he's stuck, and he's still stuck until they release the let him either go back or they fix the issue. And I get it. Again, it's a I guess I just always goes back to buy the product that you want. If it doesn't work for you after you buy it, get rid of it. Don't complain about it. Just get rid of it. If it doesn't work, get rid of it. If it works,
is there a good resale
perfectly fine.
value for Bamboo?
That's no fun.
Yeah, resale's fine.
Yeah.
Resale's, you'll lose like $100, $200. I mean, depending on how many hours you got on it. But that's, because again, there's no shortage. It's not like you can't just go online right now and buy one for $599 and have a year warranty in the USA.
Or Micro Center.
$1,200.
Yeah.
Micro Center, yeah.
Trust me, Micro Center was tempting
Matter
last
Hackers.
weekend.
which makes no sense because they're making no money off that. I mean, there's no margin on those printers.
Well, they're also not in the community as well. Like there's events that happen half a mile from them, and they don't go to them. So
no, well, there has to be one store that's the Best Buy of 3D printing, and I consider them the Best Buy. They sell stuff, and if you need it, they have it.
Yep.
I don't go to Best Buy. I don't go to Matter Hackers. I go either find it myself or there's 400 other websites I can go to. Because again, I mean, that's one thing I love about the community is we have so many resources to get what we want, and yet we still bitch about stuff like, oh, this doesn't do what I want. Well, then go get something that does work. This thing steals my data, then don't buy it.
Yeah.
I can't get this.
Well, and the idea is the majority of people don't care and they're not printing anything sensitive.
It's just the amount of yelling. It's just
Oh yeah.
Like, because again, I've been gone for 2 years. I don't post on X, you know, and I'm like, I go on there once and I'm like, wow, like everyone is just bitching and moaning about. And I bitch and moan about stuff too, but it's like, it's all falling on deaf ears. Nobody cares. You're not gonna solve world hunger on Twitter, complaining about what printer is doing this and that. Like,
right.
Yeah, like this is probably the second year in a row that Prusa is gonna die. And I'm like, still people are posting they're dead. I'm like, really? Because they just sold like their millionth printer. Like, whatever random Twitter user. Like, it's just such nonsense.
Yeah,
like,
I think
can we just go back to printing cool shit? I missed that from 6 years ago. All we do is print
that's what
cool
I think
shit.
is funny about the whole like stealing data thing is like people are worried about, oh, they're going to know what you're printing. Well, 90% of Bamboo users, everything they print is going to be downloaded from Bamboo's website. So it's like they're already going to know what you're printing, even if they don't have access to it.
Yeah. And I think the only issue was I think the only issue was for those that did have commercial like products like NDAs on their stuff to print it, then don't use that printer. Like
Yeah, and that's where when they released the X1E, people were like, oh, this is the solution. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, but actually you can't go get updates without cloud service.
You can't. There's still no SD card to SD
right. There's no SD card firmware update. It's like, you missed there, Bamboo. Like I think that's what they were trying to do. And it's like, yeah, but I can't update my firmware.
I think the only thing that's bothering me in that community right now is the uptick in people going, my X1C can take a space heater inside and be an X1E. And I'm like, guys, stop trying to put active heating inside of your X1C. Like, quit, stop. Like, if you want to do it yourself, do it. Don't share it to anybody else. Like, we're beyond being nice at this point, because I see constantly on their page, like, look, guys, I hooked this cool new heater up, and there's just this random thermistor wired. And they actually, this one they posted recently was they literally wired it directly to mains. Like, they spliced into mains to heat this heater up, and I'm like, are you freaking insane? And he's sharing it to everyone on Reddit. I'm like, dude, whatever you want to do at your own on your time in your own house is fine. But when you're encouraging other people to set their house on fire, there's a line you've crossed.
Like, leave that to other companies.
ANET's been doing that since the beginning of ANET.
Yeah, and people stood up against ANET, and eventually they are.
Not really. They still kept buying them.
You can still buy them, but they aren't like, you could see an ANET. There was a community. There is no ANET community no more. There's like 7 people sitting in their garage going, let me light up my cigarette on my ANET real quick. All right, let's go.
ANET by big.
Yeah, yes. I actually had someone, because I had mentioned in a conversation that like Voron doesn't discuss chamber heating in their Discord, and they're like, no, they do, and I'm like, really? Because here's, and I literally posted the exact like conversation where they said we don't talk about this, and they're like, well, they kind of do. I'm like, dude, they don't.
No.
And they go look at this forum. Like, that's a different Discord.
Hold on, Chris. Steve Scott.
We allow insulation talk to get to a reasonable temperature for the design. But too many people want to come in with their who knows what AC heater
plugged into mains.
Yeah. And just run the heat and melt the whole printer.
Dude, when I saw that splice into mains for the heater on the X1C, I was like, why are you sharing this? Like, and people were like, please share me. Please. I'm like,
oh, I know. That's the problem, is that there's so many people out there that want to modify their printers. They're just going to take whatever thing they see that looks cool and try to duplicate it.
It takes one incorrect job to cause a house fire. You could injure the person. You can injure their family. You can injure their neighbor. Like, just please be conscious of the things that you're doing. Like, it brings me back to more of like the older 3D printing when we didn't know what the fuck we're doing, and people were defending Enders that had faulty the connector they had for the longest time, the XC connector or whatever. And they're defending it, and then until Joel goes, "This connector's faulty. Please fix it." Reality, like we're at the point we're not doing that anymore. Like, please stop trying to cause a house fire.
Yeah, I mean, I almost had one. Had I not been here that day when we were gaming, oh my god! I mean, we got lucky. Oh yeah,
that's why I'm glad we're getting more appliance printers that don't allow certain users, because there are people who should never open up their printer.
No.
And there needs to be a printer for them. Prusa wasn't it. I don't believe a Prusa is meant for everyone. It's meant for a certain group of people. It always has. And same with Ender, same with whatever. And now we have another printer specifically targeted towards a larger audience that includes people who should never touch the internals of any electronic.
Right.
Yeah.
That is actually the thing I think is kind of lost a little bit, because I learned so much about
from opening your printer.
From updating and modifying my Ender 3 and then my Core XYs. I learned so much about how
have a good night, Ian.
I learned so much about how the machines work and how you can control them and all that kind of stuff, and it was a really big education for me. But that's the kind of person I am.
Yeah.
Right. I like to understand how things work. I like to tweak things. I like to mess with things. And if you're not that kind of person, that's fine. But stay the heck out of it. Yeah. They're like,
what you're saying is you like the tingle of 120 volts, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Oh man,
it's not a tingle that hurts, and I've only felt it once.
I've been zapped by 24 volts here and there.
I was repairing a BQX1 for a friend of mine. It's sitting in another room. I was working on it, and I was starting to get shocked. I was working on the extruder, and there's a short. There was no ground inside the printer, and it was shorting to the frame and getting into my hand. And again, this is why you need
some people should not be playing with the printer.
Well, it was stuck. Like, he's like, "Why isn't this working?" And I was like, "It's not working because it's shorting to itself." Because I guess one wire was literally shorted to the frame inside the control box. And I'm like, no one would know that. You wouldn't know that. You would have just electrocuted yourself. I'm like, why am I feeling a tingle as I'm touching your extruder as it's turning on? I wasn't doing it.
Some people are into that.
Yeah.
I repair medical
modify your
equipment,
printers
so
if you shouldn't be.
Definitely felt the bite of a few different voltage.
Oh,
it's funny,
voltages.
Ajax,
So.
You and my best friend, whose name is also Justin, he repairs medical equipment out East Coast.
Nice.
Yeah,
I've gotten some 600 to 1,000 volt shocks. I work in the solar industry. The current's low though, so that's but yeah,
I've also touched a Tesla coil. Tesla coils feel great for a second.
Right.
No, I was trying to wire up a dishwasher, and I thought I'd killed the right circuit on the breaker in the kitchen, and I did not kill the right circuit on the breaker in the kitchen. Fortunately, I was doing it right, one-handed. And I touched the two, and my fingers went, on the whole arm. But when I'm like, okay, that's the wrong circuit. But that's the only time I've ever been bitten by any high voltage.
Well, I've been bitten a bunch of times by 110.
Yep.
Getting
very
bitten
unpleasant.
I did construction so much.
It so much sucks.
Yeah, I'm just glad there's finally an option. I just wish they would put like special screws on it that you need a special tool to open the thing with.
Right?
Oh, it's scary,
Justin's got Amazon boxes.
No, those are Fabrico.
These are Fabrico. So he released his new satin beds, the textured beds finally.
Oh, the beta test ones?
Yeah.
Is that the one he got yelled at on Reddit for?
I don't know.
Why did he get yelled? Why would they yell at?
Because people on Reddit like to yell at people.
It's social media. As soon as you say, because I think he was selling them initially, like at a low price, like, hey, these are just beta boards, buy them, and people just flamed him for wanting to like recoup his costs on. He goes, there might be issues with these beds. I don't know. And
if there's an issue, I message him. He takes care of it. Like,
yeah,
it's
plus they're cheap. Like, that's the point. It's like I'm selling them cheap because there might be problems with them.
The downfall with social media is the fact that, and I had this discussion actually with another YouTuber, a very big YouTuber. We had an interesting conversation because he got, he was shadow banned on YouTube. I mean, 200,000 subscriber YouTuber. Oh, that looks nice.
It is very nice.
But he got shadow banned because he unfortunately talks. And
so it looks like it fit on my bamboo. Let me borrow that.
I know it's a 255. Let me grab the 355.
255. What is he putting that on? A 250 Trident?
Morons. No, I got these two.
Justin, you don't have your own logo on that sheet though.
No, I wish I did.
Yeah,
I bet I
you
could
need to
get
be,
it.
you need to be cool enough.
This is satin.
Satin PI, yeah.
Satin textured. It is very nice. I am excited to play with this.
Well, go on Reddit and post it, and then watch everyone yell at you.
And get freaking destroyed on Reddit.
I mean, you can weaponize that for yourself if you want that.
Oh yeah. And these are
just engagement. You can engagement farm the trolls. It's great.
Yeah, but YouTube shadow banned them, and I was like, I don't want to pick sides, but I've told you this before. It's like social media should never be a point where you can say something that you would never say to someone in person. And I know I've broken that rule a lot of times, but what's funny is I would actually say that to people. Like the people that know me in person were like, if I find them doing something dumb, I will just tell them they're doing something dumb. But it's the point now when I hop on, it's just like, you're gonna say something and you're gonna regret it. Maybe not initially, maybe not ever, but it's something that you would regret if you did that to someone that you met in real life and talked to them face to face. And I told them, I'm like, dude, you need to treat social media like you're talking to someone face to face, and it'll be a completely different world.
Yep.
And then you realize just how toxic everything is, because you're like, wow, I would never say that. I would say that maybe with my close friends, but I'd never say that to someone I'd meet at the mall.
Yeah, you never say to someone random you've never seen before.
Yeah, but they're right in front of you.
There's your full texture. There's your satin bed.
Very nice.
So
I actually really like the one I got from my LDO kit.
I'm excited for these.
How rough is the texture on the textured one?
It's definitely not. It's pretty aggressive. I mean, it's not bad.
I have a Fabrico textured sheet that came with my Mercury 1.
Nice.
It's a little aggressive, I think. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
I love the P series sheets, the P series PEI, but I haven't tried that satin, whatever new thing he has.
Oh, on the satin, it's pretty damn
I've never tried a satin sheet. Ever since Prusa launched the first one, I still have never gotten a satin sheet.
I bought one of the very first when they announced that Prusa sheet. I've never been able to get anything stick to it.
Really?
But I absolutely love Prusa textured sheets.
I remember the very first Prusa I actually remember the very first texture sheet that ever came out from The King.
Oh, nice. I had the first
5 years ago or whatever.
The MK3 sheets that they sent out. It took them like 6 months to do. And
there was so much beta testing with those texture sheets because they initially they put it on stainless steel.
Yep.
And the problem with stainless steel was the powder coating wouldn't adhere. So after like 3 months, it would just start come off.
Yeah.
And they didn't. And they used to tell you that you could refresh PI with acetone, but then they found that the acetone would cause the textured PI to go brittle. So you couldn't use acetone anymore. So they got really careful what they told people.
Window cleaner.
Window cleaner works. Oh, look at that! Yeah, when you put the markings on the beds.
Yeah.
The original one.
Yeah,
that's from
that's
from the pre-orders.
So when Prusa first started making
it's still
those,
in shape. It can still be used.
They used to get stopped by customs constantly because it would come in black plastic bags, and it was just a black powder, and they thought it was heroin. And because they're trying to develop the process of doing it before that one company out of Canada did it. The King,
I think
that's one of the older ones. Yeah, the originals had the
yeah, I have the original somewhere. I just have to find it. I think it's up there.
I have some Ulta sticks still.
Oh yeah, I wish those were still made. I loved those.
I did like them. They would always, but they finally learned they had to galvanize the plate. Galvanizing the plate was a secret, so they had to stainless it, galvanize it, so that it would stick to the powder coating would stick more permanently. And now everyone has a texture sheet. Thank you, Prusa, for bringing that to mass market, along with filament runout sensors that would cause fires.
There was a guy in Germany though that made
crucifiers.
The guy in Germany that did powder coated PEI before Prusa was doing it.
That was the
King. Well, there was a few people that were doing it before Prusa, but it wasn't until after Prusa announced it, because Prusa had been using it for like 2 years in their own farm, because
so
you'd get parts. Yeah, you'd get parts from them and it had the texture on it. And you're like, what is this? Like, everyone would always ask, and eventually they're like, yeah, for 2 years we've been using these textured sheets. We've been developing it in-house, but we're trying to figure out how to make it not break apart over time.
Right. How do you can you do it yourself, like with just a home?
You need like one of those enclosed like vacuum style powder coating machines. And they were actually using a liquid solution for a while. I don't remember if they're still doing that. That's why they have the 2 holes, because they would dip it into the solution and it would use some kind of.
You need to chemically etch the spring steel, I imagine, to get it to bite,
because it's like galvanizing and adhering at the same. It's such a weird process. I wish they would post more like in depth, like how we invented this or how this process is done videos, because like at this point everyone's making it. Like, it's not like it's a trade secret anymore. Everyone's figured it out.
I just have the Wham Bam old school style.
Man, that's the only sheet I could never get to work, was the original Wham Bam sheets, the PEX.
PEX?
Yeah,
it works well for PET G.
It works okay. But you have to do so much work to, like, not so much work, but you have to scour it, and clean it, and scour and scour and scour.
Yeah.
Glossy, it worked well for PET G.
Do you remember, does anyone remember Gator Bite?
I think
weren't those the connectors? Weren't those
no, Gator Bite was a bed that had 100 uses. It was so good at adhering that every time you took it off, you take some of the material with it. But I mean, it was amazing.
I do that anyway. I don't have to be a Gator Bite bed for that.
Takes off a chunk.
I mean, Gecko Tech was pretty good.
That's the brand, Gecko Tech.
Gecko Tech.
That was the white with the green letters.
Yeah, that was the green logo.
I used that for the backpack printers, and then I decided that that's not worth it anymore. But on the big one I do, the problem is finding Delta printer flex sheets that are the size I need.
Well, you need Prusa to release the video on how they make theirs, and you can just do it in your house.
What I would do is I would just get a standard flex sheet from China and then laser cut it. Or even better, water jet. So I need to find some water jet access again. I used to have it. It's so cool to have a water jet. I loved water jets. They're so unreasonable though. They're like, the cost is so unreasonable for unless you're like doing production.
You know, I remember really early in the Bamboo release cycle, they had that engineering and cool plate that didn't have a PEI sheet. And there was a guy who ordered a bunch of big, like 300 by 300 PEI sheets from China and was just cutting them on his CNC into the Bamboo shape and shipping them out to people. And there was a big demand for that. There was a big demand.
Those original sheets they shipped were so not the best. And I still can't believe the X1C ships with the cold plate. Well,
P1S and engineering plate.
And
the engineering
and PLA and all PLA.
I don't hate the engineering side. The engineering plate side is actually okay.
That's what I use for all my ABS.
The cold plate side is awful, but the engineering plate side is actually okay.
Yep. That's what I use for all my ABS printing.
The K1 comes with the same sheet because they decided to copy exactly how the X1 was. And they're like, here's this glue stick plate. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, don't do the same thing.
Yeah, please just go back to what you're. And you guys also the X1C and the was it the Ender 3 V3?
The Ender 3 V3 SE.
SE.
Yeah. So we have our A1
Core
clone.
XY1 or Core XZ.
Actually, I would argue that the V3, the Ender 3 V3,
one of the new Ender 3s
SE is actually not an A1 clone. A, there's no multicolor, and B, it's so
well,
much
everything Creality does is
it's
a
like
clone.
189, so it's half the price. So it's a much more entry level printer if you want it,
and it
still has a lot of the same
250 instead of 256 cubes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, but that's the standard Ender 3 size, right? 220 by 220 by 250. That's what it's been forever. Now,
the whole X1C has the thicker build plate now. K1C has a thicker build plate because they were just using that super thin that they've always used.
Mm-hmm.
They added a nozzle scrubber in the back so you can scrub the nozzle because there's no purge bucket because you're not doing multicolor.
Gotcha.
All right, you got to bounce. See you guys.
Bye, John.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what was it? I was really confused when because I remember when Bamboo was talking about why they had patents taken out in China. Like, well, we want to fight companies that directly copy us, and then I'm like, but the K1 came out. Like, literally, this is like what you said you got these patents for. And now the new one's coming out. It's called the K1C. I'm like,
yeah, it's all metal, so it can bring carbon fiber. I'm like, they finally have an all metal hot end. This is the ridiculous thing, is they haven't had an all metal hot end.
Well, the last one had all metal, but it wasn't a hardened steel nozzle. It'll still be a brass nozzle.
Oh, it was hardened steel.
And Microsys came out with theirs, so
with their proprietary nozzle.
Yep.
They kind of stole that's like a tiny version of the nozzle from the Nextruder, which Bruce says stop making nozzles with a giant metal heat break that is very fragile. Just
yes. I will agree with that. I had a buddy who broke his thermistor on his MK4, and he came over. I'm like, I've got a spare whole hot end here. Just do this. I'll buy another thermistor. Like,
I'm so confused at why, for the longest time, we would buy an E3D style hot end, we'd stick wires in it, and then bend them 90 degrees.
Right.
Why didn't we design it with the way it was supposed to be done, which is turning the block 90 degrees, so you don't have to.
That always seemed so wrong to me when I would put a new hot end in, like a new heater block in, and be like, let me now bend these cables that just snapped off on me because they're tiny.
Right.
And what's funny is the reason E3D redid their thermistors was because a lot of us complained constantly because their original thermistors, they weren't cemented in. The wire would just come out from the inside of that little pressed brass fitting, and it was short, and that's why they went bad. And oh man, the stuff that we had to go through back in the day. I mean, I would be burning through E3D freaking thermistors on a Prusa Mark III or Mark II like every couple months, because I mean, when you print 24/7, the constant movement of that freaking gantry is just atrocious.
Right.
You know, that just we've come so far.
Right.
We're so close to the sun, we can feel it.
Yep.
It's almost going to melt our wings.
Right.
They're made of or honey.
So,
and here we are complaining about it.
Question for Steve Builds. So did my first accelerometer run on the new Trident. My y-axis, something's messed up. I don't know what I got. 2 hump EI at like 3,500 acceleration. Everything's well lubricated. Everything's smooth. Belts are just where they should be. But
where's your ADXL mounted?
It's the Beacon Rev H. So it is, yes. Hard mounted.
Every time someone tells me that everything's smooth, my belts are perfect, I still want to look at their belts.
Yeah.
We can't really bring you to them, but
I know, but it is there's a lot of care that can be taken in making sure that the belts are not rubbing on the edge of the pulleys. I'd be making sure all the bolts are tight.
I checked those because I actually shredded a belt because of that, and I ended up changing for fresh belts. And
it's just like people asking for print help. I've checked my extrusion multiplier. I know it's perfect. And you look at the print, and it's bumpy on the top layer.
You can tune for that EM all you want, but tuning for the layer is the important part.
Too many people tune it based on the first layer. And they're like, oh, my first layer is silky smooth. I'm like, well, you're too far away from the bed then if you're getting bumps at the top. Like, if you lower your extrusion multiplier and you get closer to the bed, you're going to get the same smooth layer. And now maybe it'll be right.
Like Voron parts, you do your top layer and you get the bumps. It's like, well, bring your EM down.
The point is, people come in saying, I did all of this stuff and everything's perfect. And you've just told me everything's perfect that it could be. So I'm sorry, I can't help you. If it's all perfect, then it should work perfect.
I'm wondering if I have a loose bolt somewhere.
I would check that. I would double check your belts though too, because that can be really finicky.
Oh yeah.
Is that a 2.4 or a Trident? That's the one that's giving the issue. Trident.
So
I was gonna say, like, that was my only issue with not wanting the 2.4 again.
Great, of course, but the Y did.
A gantry that moves up and down and left and right and forward and back. There's a chance of like an additional hump variable.
That's the big difference between Trident and 2.4. There's that extra layer of care that needs to be taken during assembly.
Yeah.
Extra variables.
which I probably should change out my Z belts one of these decades because they're 3 years old. They're fine, but they probably stretched a little.
Is there a 12 millimeter belt mod for the Z?
You don't need that.
You don't need it. I bet I bet there is.
Tell me that would solve like
there's
my
a 9 mil for. There's a 9 mil for the.
There's
gantry,
a 9 mil,
so
but the 12 mil belt would have so little stretch, and that's my one.
The 9 mil doesn't have any
complaint.
stretch.
No.
Not in the idlers.
I'm talking about
stuff
overtime.
that you can put on it.
I'm talking about overtime because 9 millimeter. Because
Up
every
your
time you
belt
go
game.
wider and a little thicker, that belt has just a little less chance of ever stretching over time. I mean, it will stretch. It's always going to stretch over time.
Well, it helps that this thing's 500 millimeters tall too, so I have that much more belt. Too.
Yeah, well, you do have a lot more belt, which means more mass pulling on.
Yeah.
Well, more torque.
Mm-hmm.
On whatever math, science.
That's why the G2Zs don't work on large printers; they work on small printers.
Yeah.
I've heard, at least from what I've heard. So.
Oh, mine sags too much. I'll admit it. Yeah.
On the G2Zs.
Yeah, it works fine.
Is it on a 350 or?
No, 300.
Okay.
But it's also an LDO 300, so it's that 10 millimeter thick bed, so it's extra thick.
Nice. I love those.
Print
beds.
quality
They're
is
freaking
fabulous. What I printed all the parts for Pooch's Mark IV upgrade I'm working on. But it does sag more than I'd like.
Zig and zag, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I've done it before. I just got to figure it out one of these days.
Question, and something that I didn't because I didn't watch anyone actually install their linear rails. So the proper installation of the linear rails should always start from the center and work your way out. And I've seen people install them from the outside in, and they're like, "What's wrong with my printer?" I'm like, "Well, you added stress as you came into the thing. So did you install them center out?"
Yes.
When you put the screws in.
Yes.
Okay. Because I've seen people do it the other way, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, treat it like a car. Like, do the star pattern when you do stuff. Like when I put my stealth burner plate on, I always go in an X. Like, make sure it's flat. Check. Like it's those little things when you're building a printer that have the biggest impact.
Engineering squares are nice.
You know, the other
squares, I bought 2 CNC.
I did too.
4 CNC's engineering
I got
squares.
clamps because I watched Steve's video.
For the build on the
clamp
Trident.
it right.
So the other thing you can do is take your measurement, do the input shaping print test, get it good enough, and just print with the damn thing.
Yeah. This is true, but I have 2 other working printers. Let's make the third one.
But if you're just looking at graphs, are you actually seeing that in your prints?
I don't know. I haven't.
What were the values for the other dampening options? Like what was EI? What was any of the other ones?
I don't.
I mean, if they're so close, because again, the auto choosers.
They weren't that close.
I mean, it's pretty darn good, but
I've heard don't run over like
different smoothing
with input.
I'm gonna head out, guys. I gotta get to bed.
Thanks you for
number 1.
Later,
you
guys. Probably. Talk to you later.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard running the higher input shapers, like 2 hump EI, 3 hump EI, is not recommended. Am I wrong?
It has more smoothing, so you're just going to get less detail.
Okay.
I mean,
but if I'm printing Voron parts, should I be chasing a input shaper at that point?
Again, you can just pick the other input shaping profile.
Yes, I know that, but if I pick the other, my acceleration.
As long as it's within your acceleration range.
Yeah, 15.
Because again, mine says I can get up to 8,000 acceleration on my 300, and I'm not going to print at 8,000 acceleration.
What can I get on this one? Let me see. Max
you should have just bought an X1C. You wouldn't have this problem.
Dude, let me give you a fun fact. If you've never owned a bamboo printer, the input shaping is so aggressive on them. So anytime I've seen anyone print a Benchy on their X1 or any of their bamboo printers, you can't read the word Benchy.
Yes.
And that's just a clear sign that the input shaping is very high. And that's why it prints so well, so fast. It's picking the higher input shaping all the time.
Right.
And that's a benefit and a downfall. And
I'm
99% of what you're going to print is not going to matter. So
I'm around 5,500 acceleration.
People printed tons of boron
primers,
parts
of course,
on a bamboo printer, which guarantee you is taking the highest input shaping method.
Oh yeah,
and just giving you the smoothest, sexiest looking prints for the speed. Right. And it fits fine because again, there's room for wiggle. I'm still confused on Voron parts being printed at 0.4 millimeters, but that's just something in me that goes, there's die swell. You can't print at 0.4 millimeters because then you're printing at actually 3.95 millimeters and letting it under extrude to then expand through die swell to 0.4 millimeters. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's.
I'd like to know more about that actually.
Die swell on most filaments is like 1.065. So
on ABS, ASA too.
What is that term?
Die swell. It just means that when something's extruded at temperature, it's always going to swell a little
as
bit.
it comes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always going to be. It's not always. Typically, like ABS, PLA has very similar. It's like 1.06 times, and that's why, like, if you look at printer slicer or even bamboo slicer, picks 0.42 millimeters, because if you print at 1-to-1 extrusion and you want 0.4 millimeters to come or 0.42 millimeters to come out of your nozzle, you're printing at 0.4, allowing for that die swell to come up with a 0.42 millimeter line width.
Right.
So it always confused me when it was like we're printing at 0.4 millimeters, but there's die swell, and it's negligible.
Is the slicer doing that?
No,
or is it just? So
it's
I
just
think
the natural process of extruding molten material.
Ajax is back.
Because you always have some die swell.
Okay.
Right.
Case in point, like when you print something with high elastomer content, like silk filament, you can physically see the die swell as it comes out of the nozzle, and it's like
die swell, swell. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, and people have calculated, and it's around 1.06%. Like you just multiply your nozzle size by 1.06, and that's technically your 1-to-1. So if you're pushing out enough to print, you're pushing the exact pressure amount to get a 0.4 millimeter thing, but then with the die swell, it's going to be 0.42.
So,
and if you print that 0.4 means you under extrude slightly, which is actually better for print quality, which is funny, because under extrusion allows for more pressure, less pressure to be built up inside of the hot end. So it's kind of a weird. It's such a weird thing in 3D printing, like, because someone printed on accident on a 0.6 millimeter nozzle at 0.4 millimeters, and they came up with the most gorgeous print because there's so much room for the filament, like expansion and contraction of the filament, and the unevenness in the filament itself wasn't able to be as apparent on, because the die swell wasn't taken into consideration at all. You're just printing under extruded.
When you're talking about designing in tight constraints, and I know the Voron is known for a small footprint per build area.
Yeah.
And some of the features in the different parts, it's a lot easier to design at 0.4 millimeters than 0.42 millimeters.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure if that was influencing, because that predates me in the Voron group.
And again, I don't think it's going to matter. It's one of those things that in the end, it's just a confusing thing, because when I look at how much effort was put into the Voron printers, it's like, why didn't they pick the one that considers a die swell? Because they're considering the one that technically would print better, because under extruding would give you a slightly better print. Like print something at 0.35 millimeters on a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, you'll get a better quality print. But the layers won't line up because but well, it won't have a gap if you use an Arachne or like Prusa slicer style.
Well, that's too
Kura, you'll have a gap.
Impacted. That's within the last couple of years.
Right.
Yeah. It's just I'm so glad I opened up Orca Slicer, because now they have that precision outer wall where it takes into account that slick 3R style slicers, they consider, the outside edges is round, so to get a perfect wall, they consider that circular thing to fit together and give you a perfect connection. While Kura has always just taken your line width and your line width that are round and just touch them.
Okay.
And now Orca Slicer it'll, on the outer wall, will choose that touch to touch, while the other one will have the overlap for the strength. So you get a stronger inner wall, and the outside will look prettier because you're not forcing an overlap.
So a smaller seam.
Yeah.
Less noticeable seam.
We're getting there. We're getting to a world where everything will be perfect.
Yeah, sure. Light it all on fire and run away.
Just one more printer. That's all we tell ourselves.
We're one printer away from.
Just one more.
Yes. Never know.
From the companion cube.
Yeah, one printer away from divorce.
Yes. Yeah, trust me, I'm 4 printers above that number.
Well, she stays with you for the good looks.
Yeah.
4 printers over.
Yeah.
I don't know how many printers I'm over right now.
Oh, I don't even want to know. No, I was limited to 5, and then I won 3 printers this past year, and I bought one. Oh yeah.
When my ex and I split, I had 1 printer. Now I have 7. So
I'm in the 20s. I don't know exactly.
You're in the 20s. Oh jeez. Well, when you come to Rocky Mountain, you'll have 55 or so.
I'm actually looking at ramping up production for TD1. I'm like, I think I might need a couple more.
Just message Bamboo. I'm sure they'll sponsor you. Or just win at Rocky Mountain. I'm sure someone
There
will
we go.
Away.
Yeah.
I'm in the fortunate position of I'm getting rid of a lot of my old printers because, again, I had almost 30 printers.
I mean, send them to Rocky Mountain. We'll give them away.
Well, I'll send you the one. You can have the one.
Right.
It needs a home. It needs to be with someone that appreciates the fact that it has
with
Sanjay's autograph on it. Like,
yeah, I'll let George
timepiece.
One.
Nice.
But
I don't have space for it. I hate to say that.
I don't have space for it either. Like, I have
what is it?
one
is
last
it a Prusa?
So I built a bear and I brought it to Murph 2018, and I had every person sign it. So I have Sanjay's autograph on it. I've got Joseph Prusa's autograph on a printed part. I got Cheps, Joel Telling, Andre from Prusa. You need a printer, dude.
No.
Come over from Canada, and we'll talk.
Hey.
But so I got everyone's autograph on it, and I messaged E3D. I'm like, do you guys want this? Like, because it has Sanjay's autograph on it, and I don't think there is another printer in the world that has his autograph on it. So, and then they're like, yeah, let me talk to this person. I'll get back to you. They never got back to me. And I'm like,
well, I'll message with Georgia and see what she thinks before we do anything.
Just respond.
I know, but she's also been busy. She had to do all the stuff for.
I'm not blaming them. I'm just like, as long as I can get it to a good home that it can get to either towards like the Smurf Foundation, or if there's ever like a 3D printing historical, like Hall of
Society,
whatever of stuff. Like, here's the fair, there should be like in the Smithsonian or something. I don't know. Like, because again, it has everyone's like Bondtech. I can't remember his name, Jonathan or no. Yeah, there's so many, but mostly Sanjay. Like, wanted to make sure that got to at least to somebody that could. Because I don't need it. I'd rather it go to a home that it's going to be. Yeah.
I'm sure we can find something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcel, come on over. I will. I have a couple of printers that could. I promise won't set your house on fire because the electrical.
Yeah, I know Warcock. He's very good about his anti-fire printers.
Dude, I'm still trying to figure out how. This printer that I was given to fix had a short to the frame, and I zapped myself twice with it. I'm like, what in the heck?
That's not good.
Never, and I've had some crappy printers I've looked at over my lifetime.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, this one's getting sold at Rocky Mountain. This CR10S Pro V2. I'm done. It works. It works just fine. I'm just done with it.
Is that Super Racer gone yet?
No, it's sitting in the garage, basically gutted, and Dan's going to take it home and figure it out from there. So I'm
screw Deltas. They're the worst.
Terrible.
I mean, there's a reason you're not bringing a backpack Delta to Rocky Mountain.
No, well, it's not because they're bad. I think the Deltas are the way to go. But I'm like, honestly, like the FL Sun. FL Sun S1, I think, is going to be a big deal.
I really want to order one. That and a Magneto.
Yes.
That's all I want in my life.
I was tempted by the
Magneto. I want to play so bad with those two printers.
It would be nice if
I pre-ordered the Magneto.
I mean, they had shipping damage at Earth.
I'm going to watch a Steve's build video on it, and then come over to his house and take it, and then be
You
like,
should.
"I want to look at this magneto I got."
Back taking it. I'm sure that thing's heavy.
I'll bring
Steve
Nick.
pre-ordered one
Nick is
too.
strong.
Yeah, it would be cool to be able to do quick. I mean, I don't know. Did you see that 2-minute benchy on the Ender 3?
2-minute benchy on an Ender 3?
Did you post that, Steve, or
was
it somebody else?
Not me. Is it
I
blob
forgot
of
who it
plastic?
was, but
Yeah, what does it look like?
Oh, 24/7 printing reposted somebody's on YouTube. But essentially, it's a quad. It was a quad motor bed slinger Ender 3, but it had like.
Did it push pull on every axis?
I think so. It looked like it had a huge like a leaf blower as a cooler. And I mean, obviously, it was boat shaped. It wasn't like good, but like still 2 minutes, 10 seconds of something that actually resembles a benchy is commendable.
I think we need to start an organization that goes, if it doesn't measure the exact measurements of a benchy, it cannot be considered a benchy.
That was the original like the Earth speed benchy contest that kind of kicked a lot of this off.
Well, they gave you settings. It had to be like this wall.
It had to fit in the box. It was a box the size of a benchy. It had to fit in that box, and it could. And they judged it too, right? And I could get my backpack printer on battery to do it under 30 minutes, I think, but it still wasn't good. Like I didn't know how to tune it. I still don't know how to tune it. But the Bowden tube thing just ruins my Delta printer printing thing. So now that I have them switched to orbiters and revos, they're actually really good. But I still can't get it to print like crazy speeds. But I think that again, that the Deltas that they're just limited by how stiff you can make that effector.
The revos max flow rate's like 16.
Yeah, I mean, I could. I think I had a mosquito
benches?
a mosquito on there as well, but like
Mosquito's only like 20. Like
the regular mosquito, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I could put the VZ bot stuff. You see, VZ bots has designed for a Delta effector.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, he also has his own hot end. What is that? The Hercules or some random? And that thing has like 90 millimeters of flow.
Yeah, that stuff's crazy. That's really cool. Steve, you have one too, right? The VZ.
The what?
The VZ bot.
Yeah, it's that one right there.
Have you gotten it like max out?
No.
It's fast though. I mean, even
pretty good.
Even stock config, it looked pretty fast.
Let me see. What is the default speeds that I've been running? I've been running the Orca Slicer default speeds on it.
Right.
So let
We're
me
gonna give it a couple more minutes, and then it's time for me to hop off. And go to bed.
But imagine like a VZ Delta VZ bot. That would be cool.
You can stay after all you want.
But then I can't see Marcel tell me stuff.
No,
finally, after 10 years of Delta printers from the original Rochel like Rostock design, like we finally are getting Deltas that are actually performing hopefully pretty decently.
I'm so happy FL Sun made a competitor to the current stuff.
Because there isn't any other Delta printers that other than CMCC, but they're not really competitive to.
The default speeds in Orca Slicer for that is in the 200 to 250 millimeters per second range at 10,000 accels and 800 millimeters per second travel speeds.
That's pretty good.
Those travel speeds is what really gets it going when you hear it. You're the
Trident. So the Trident I have, I'm running 200 millimeters per second on all surfaces at 6,000 acceleration with a 0.6 millimeter nozzle and a 0.28 millimeter layer height.
Yeah.
And it prints so nice.
What do you run for the hot end on that?
Rapido.
Okay.
Because I tried it with the Revo and you couldn't go past the
Revo high flow.
Yeah, it came with stock with a Revo high flow.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Rapido I only have a 50% success rate on. I have one that basically broke apart on me even before using it, and then one that's
was it a V1 or V2? Because I know the V1 had the circular heater core.
It was V1. They're both V1s.
Yeah, because I have a V1. I never used it. This was a V2 that I bought, and they switched to the bamboo style ceramic It was ceramic in the original one, but this one just has the pad that clips in, and it's solid, and then has the titanium screws. And I think the original didn't have titanium screws.
I don't remember.
All right.
They sent me one. I have no idea.
Well,
are you done, Justin?
Are you done? I have to go to bed. I have to be up at like 6.
Go to bed.
He has to go to a
only
job
10
that he
o'clock.
doesn't want to go
I have to go to work.
Yeah, I'm pretty white myself.
Justin, you should just invent cool software that you
I
can
know,
sell to
right?
3D
I
printer
could.
people and-
I get to drive a
What
bus
is
at
it?
6 in the morning to O'Hare and back.
Hey, there you go.
That sounds like fun. Drive one?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a bus in the driveway.
Oh,
Nice.
I gotta haul people in wheelchairs that play wheelchair rugby internationally. So yeah, I gotta come to the airport.
Oh, that's fun.
Chris, thanks for
I'm at a
having us.
hotel out in
Thanks
Orange
for
County.
popping
So.
in.
Now I have more questions.
You have a
appreciate
hotel
it,
in Orange County.
as always.
I'm at a hotel in Orange County.
Oh, that's right. Were the tacos good?
Yeah, they were good.
Dude, California tacos are legit.
Yeah,
They were really good. They had a
Matt from
filet
Jake
mignon.
from Steak Farm. Thanks
Still
for
connected with Krusty.
Get a
hanging out.
California
Been
burrito
ages.
while you're out there. Like try to
Yeah.
find like a street vendor that has a California burrito.
Heck yeah.
Game changing.
Ajax, thanks for hopping in. I know you're traveling, so have some fun. We'll see you when you get back. And Mitch, well, I'll see you when I see you. Probably Friday, like always.
Yeah, I'll see you at Rocky Mountain. I won't.
Oh, I know you'll be there. Well, yeah, but you won't talk to me till then. Yeah, I guess you're not going to be in that Friday thing, huh?
Yeah, I'll be on one of those. But I really do need to work on the Sliceworks thing.
Yes, you do.
It's
Get it
really
done.
hard to develop a backpack.
Just
for-
do a freaking backpack V0 and be done.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just building another backpack. It's just
There you
it
go.
gets more difficult every time I do it.
Yep, it does. So, to everyone who watched, thanks for watching. And we'll hopefully see you next week. And we'll see you in the interwebs till then. I'm going to raid out because.
Take care, everyone.
How do I do?
Wait,
Slash
Twitch?
raid?
Are you only on Twitch or?
I'm on both. Raid.
Oh, you're on both?
Amish
I'm on both.
We had another chat we should have been paying attention to.
Yeah.
No, if you look in the comments, it should have both.
I'm raiding out to Zombie Hedgehog.
Oh,
on
hey.
Twitch. I need to get better at raids.
He streams more than anybody I know.
Oh, he's I don't
always
have
on.
time for that kind of streaming,
Just wait,
especially
Mitch.
running an event.
Yeah.
I'll be streaming too. Then you'll have 2 places to go.
Daily.
Oh,
If you do daily streams, I'll be in.
I could physically do daily streams
Non-fam, have a good
because
night.
it's off season right now. Like I have absolutely
Right, you
nothing to
could.
do every day.
Are we rated out? Let's
I
see.
wish I had that
Raid
problem.
now. There we go.
All right. Good night, guys. See you.
See you guys.
Good night.
Have a good one.
See you
I'm
guys.
waiting for the raid to actually happen. Why is it? I don't know. I don't want to hit end until the raid actually
Did you raid yet?
happens.
Have you
It
raided
says
yet?
I did. I don't know what's going on.
Here, play my video of put in there, and then the raid should be
Anything can be asked for Mike. Even something as simple as sitting on the pier catching fish.
I don't know what's going on. Raid. Raid hedge. Oh, I did it wrong. That's why. There we go. Maybe.
It looks like he's doing. It looks like a trident
All right, let's see if
with
that
some weird hot end style.
Isn't he
No.
making the
There we go. Party of 1 rating. Woohoo! All right, we're ending the stream. See y'all. And leave, not leave, not leave. And